Good morning. It's morning here, and
Good afternoon, good evening, good night, wherever you are around the world.
happy Saturday from Camano in Washington, Seattle area.
Yep. We just premiered the video. We hope you guys like it over there.
Another food vlog. We
Yeah.
keep finding amazing new foods in Vietnam. There's no shortage. However, we love it when you guys recommend stuff because we find things as we go, but we absolutely love it when someone says, "Oh, you've got to try this." So please keep the recommendations coming. We definitely track them down and we enjoy them. So thank you.
The food is so different in Vietnam because you can have delicious soups or rice on bamboo sticks.
Yeah.
Like,
And it seems like there's just a whole lot of variety in Vietnam, which is really cool. So a lot of different things to try, and it's not like they're all similar. Even the soups, the broths are so different, the different bases and things. So anyway, delicious. We love it. And we're excited to say that we are heading back. So our plan is mid-April, second week of April, to try to space A from Seattle back to Japan or Korea. One thing that's happened in this last year is Seoul, Korea has made direct flights to Da Nang. So from Tokyo, you usually have a layover. Where was our Oh, Ho Chi Minh. So if you fly into Japan, there's direct flights down to Ho Chi Minh if that's where you're headed. But if you want to head straight to Da Nang, Seoul, Korea has direct flights. So we are going to try to space A to Seoul, stay in Incheon Airport. We know some really good, really inexpensive hotels, and there's a free shuttle. It's not. Is it a hotel? It's like an old apartment complex that they turned into Airbnbs and things. And some people still live in those buildings, but they're $20 to $30 a night, depending on what time of year. So they're really good deals. They're clean, and then we just walk a block, get on the free shuttle, and it takes you right to the airport terminals. So it's super easy, very convenient. We did a video on that if anyone's interested in that. But so our plan is to be back mid-April, and hopefully by then the apartments will be going down in price. Yeah. We've heard from friends and people over there right now that the prices are pretty high. So let us know if you're struggling with that and what you're finding. We're going to try to maybe not get a hotel in Vietnam. We're considering contacting the same apartment complex that we stayed in and asking if they have anything available. And even if it's not a floor or a layout that we're interested in starting in whatever space they have available and then moving to another one when they open up. So we had someone offer us that in another building. One of the Hobby Lands offered us to do that. They offered us actually a 2-bedroom just to get us into a contract. We only wanted a 1-bedroom, but they said we could stay there for 2-3 weeks until the other one opened, and we would only have to pay the 1-bedroom price. Mind you, that was in July, and things are a little different there with the new year having just happened. So we're not sure if those types of deals would still be available, but we're going to try for it because we really like that area. So let us know what you guys are finding for apartments and different things being open.
Yeah, everyone who's contacted us about Mr. Chau's information, we've given it to him, and some have met up with him and have been shown some apartments. So there are some apartments there. It's just in an area that you like to be in. So if you can find an area that you want to be in and an apartment for a price that meets your budget, then perfect. But now might be a little hard because of Tet, because in the Lunar New Year, people came over for the Lunar New Year and didn't just stay for that. They are staying for months because why not? If you made the trip over there, you might as well stay for a while.
Totally. Ginger is commenting, so I'm letting her know we're in a live right now if she wants to come over here and join us. We know it can be a little bit difficult to navigate the lives and things. It gets a little confusing sometimes.
And I broke the live again. So if you were
Today?
here a couple of weeks ago, I I started the live and then ended it, so everyone who was waiting on the live couldn't get to it, and today I set it up yesterday I set it up for 11 PM.
Oh,
So there might be a lot of people out there that's wondering why the live has already started
yeah.
12 hours before.
I'm trying to get it so I can put it over there, but, if you wanna keep
Alright.
going.
Um, so the reason Elaine said that we wanna go back to the apartment that we had is because it's in the middle of everything. We found a great apartment that is walkable to so many different places, and you could just go in almost any direction and take a break. We would walk along the beach. We would just walk to the mall and back, which is about a mile and a half, just to get out of the apartment, take time from editing, take time
Mhm.
doing things, and then we would walk to Antong, to the tourist streets, and we'd walk around there and have some, get back to to as Western of a culture as I think Da Nang has.
Question, is this alive now? Because I
Can't
can't
find it.
find it, and it doesn't say, like, our circle does not say that we're live. Is it, can you play with it? See, this too is
Mhm,
interesting.
mhm.
So, is there a way to sorry, technical difficulties trying to figure out this if we're showing live visibility unlisted.
I did that already.
Well, somehow it got changed. Okay, so we'll just save that. This might help. Sorry. The link was unlisted, so I couldn't even share it, and I don't think anybody could see it. Go ahead and
We've
let's
done that
see.
once before,
See if you guys can.
on our live in Vietnam. We totally didn't understand what was happening, and it's still happening. Can't find the live.
Yeah, you want to play with this side while I'm doing this side? See if we can figure it
Sure,
out.
let's play.
See if we can figure out what's going on. We set it up. We timed it. We clicked on the do it live. There it goes. Now it's
There
live.
it is.
So now I just need this. Go ahead, babe.
We
I'm gonna
are live. People skip that.
officially. Yeah, I'm gonna get the link so that I can share it.
Welcome to Stephen and Elaine's Live Part 2.
Redo.
We spent some time talking to ourselves with an unlisted live because apparently Stephen doesn't know how to do computers.
So just let's start over. So, fantastic news. We're planning to head back to Da Nang in April. I'm still gonna get the link, but we can just redo what we.
Yeah, we are headed back there in April. We know the landlord. We left on some really good terms. So she asked us when we were coming back. So we will try our best to avoid a hotel, contact the landlord, see if they have anything available, move into that building, uh,
Hopefully.
have it already set up by the time we get there,
Mhm.
which would be a great thing because that building was in the middle of everything. We could walk all around. We could walk to the beach and walk down the beach and have a great time listening to the sounds of the water. And sometimes they play music on the walk and on the boardwalk, and you just, I don't know, everyone's nice. Everyone's moving out each other's way. Some people are running, some people are working out, but who cares? Like, it's Da Nang. You're on the beach. Have fun.
Yeah. So, we were talking about people having a hard time getting apartments right now because of the new year. And some people even said hotels, but people were asking, is it better to have a hotel or an apartment when it comes to mold? And I think we feel it's better to have an apartment. I mean, you can find hotels that don't have mold for sure.
Mhm.
But for us, for more of a budget and long term stay, apartments make much more sense and we can get rid of the mold. So there are a whole bunch of tricks we used. You want to start, Stephen sprayed down our whole apartment. Like we had mold in our apartment, even on the fronts of the the closet walls and all kinds of things. So
It's you go around with vinegar and water first. I would say 50-50, maybe a little bit more than 50-50 vinegar side, and wipe down everything. Now, it may come back. You got to stay on top of it. You got to keep the ACs on dehumidify if you're not hot. If it's just a nice cool day, open the window, put the AC on dehumidify, or don't open the window because that negates the point. Just uh just go ahead and put it on dehumidify and let that do the work. Let that suck the moisture out of the air. And you can always fight mold that way, especially the longer that you're there. So that's why we say apartment rather than hotel. Because if you're going to be in a hotel, it's always cheaper to get an apartment. I don't think you're going to be in a hotel for 3 months.
And you can find really inexpensive hotels. I guess the difference with the hotel versus an apartment is whether or not you want the ability to cook and do your own laundry. I would say those are the two biggest things. So if you plan to eat out a lot, if you are in like our area in Centra and there are a lot of meals you can get for $1.50 or less, and you plan to just go out and eat, then a hotel is great because there's no kitchen, and if you go out, then you don't need one. And then also the laundry. If when we're there in the summer, it is so hot that we do laundry twice a day. 2 times. And it's because it's just so hot. And when we walk, like Steven said, to the beach, or we walk over to the mall, if you walk half a mile in July in Vietnam, you're going to sweat. So we definitely washed our clothes and took several showers a day. And that's something that we wouldn't be able to do in the hotel. The Doha hotel that we stayed in, they did 2 kilograms of laundry for like $2 or something.
$2, $3, yeah.
It was really cheap, but it does take them a little time to do it. You can rush it and pay more, but anyway, we wanted the washing machine. So you don't need a dryer. You can definitely hang your clothes to dry, especially if you put on that dehumidify like Steven suggested, and you can dry out your apartment and your clothes better that way. We also bought a standing fan. Did we keep that, or did we get rid of that?
Yeah,
we had no space we didn't want to store that. I think I bought it for like $8. But anyway, we would point that into the bathroom. So our laundry, since we didn't have a lanai or a balcony, our laundry hung in our shower. And so we used the fans and the dehumidify to dry everything out. And it did take several hours for the clothes to dry, but you wear a couple different outfits a day. It's not a big deal.
Small house living. I mean, it had everything we needed besides space. And we really didn't need that much space once we got used to it. I started calling it home because we made it our own home. Elaine got some plants, and we had fish for a while, and you kind of make it so that it's convenient to you. And putting the laundry in the shower was not a big deal.
No, but if you have the money and you're going to go out and get coffees, and hang out at cafes and different things like that, then you don't really need a 1-bedroom. You can stay in a studio. And we saw a studio that was only, I think, $228 a month south of Mian there. It was on the other side, south of Bach Mian Market. So that was a pretty good deal if you're looking to go out. And that still had a refrigerator and things in it, and like a rice cooker and some little things. So, but a hotel you definitely have to go eat all your meals out. Our hotel, even the Doha, which I think was $15 to $17 a night. Some nights it was even $20 if it was like a 3-day weekend, but that one had a mini fridge. So I don't think there was a microwave, right?
No.
But there was a mini fridge. So you could at least store your leftovers and things. And if you don't feel like going out all the time, you can also order on the Grab app. And then some of the bigger hotels have restaurants, downstairs or attached, like the a la carte. We like the a la carte hotel. I'll put some of these in the chat, some of our favorites. We didn't stay at the a la carte, but we went there for drinks, and they have a good rooftop bar, and they have a pool. And the a la carte has, I think it's on Wednesdays, it's like a wings and beer set that you can get. And if you buy that set, you get free pool access, which we didn't do that either, but we had a pool in our apartment. So we just went out for date nights and stuff. But a la carte is right next to Chicland, and the Chicland prices are double, triple a la carte, so you get the same views at a lower price. So I'll put the a la carte Da Nang.
Yeah, it's one of the biggest buildings in the city, so you can see over pretty much the entire city. You can see out to the water, and infinity pool goes out into the water. It it's a beautiful spot. Some people call it, Shangri-La, or you know, places where they can go and just totally relax. Not have to worry about what you're going to eat, when you're going to eat, because food is always available. They're always driving around some bun bao or
Mhm.
so food will come to you. You don't have to worry about that.
Yeah, if you just watched our video, the fruit comes to you. We love that fresh fruit, just coming right. It's just amazing. We love it. We don't have that kind of thing up here.
No,
We
no,
don't have
no.
tropical fruit in Seattle. It's too cold.
And so, it's really up to you. Is really what you want to do. You can stay in a studio with a bed against the wall if it's just you, and
Mhm.
be totally fine. It's just a place to sleep, really, because you can go out. And there's so much to do in Da Nang. There's so many places to go. You could just sit on the beach and enjoy that with a beer, or you can go to the mall and watch a movie, or you can go to one of the expat events, right? We saw a Russian game night where people were speaking
Mhm.
Russian to each other but playing board games. Excellent. Like they have all kinds of classes. We had friends that had something booked every day
Yeah.
from like Meetup or Facebook groups. There was no time for boredom. Every day they had some reason to get up, go out, and do something, which is great. Like there aren't many cities like that.
Not
Not
that we found as we're traveling.
not a big expat community in a lot of different cities.
Mhm.
And so, there's something about people who go to Da Nang, they get together and they enjoy the time together.
Mhm.
Mm.
I would say it has, yeah, the strongest expat community of anywhere we've seen. Even being in, like, England, like London, there were a lot of people that spoke English, but there were a lot of obviously, England, but they had their own communities and then, they were locals. So, in Da Nang, the environment is more like we're all out of our
Mhm,
area. It's
mhm.
really easy to tell if someone is or isn't Vietnamese. Um, at least if, like if they're American and they look like us, like it's pretty obvious. So people will help each other out on the streets and give each other info and where's your favorite place to get glasses or go to the doctor or all kinds of different stuff. So it's really nice to have a group of people that you can go to
Mm.
and get good information on. You have to be a little bit careful in Da Nang with reviews. So one thing that Vietnam has jumped on is the fact that people will hi, welcome. One thing they've noticed is that like Google reviews and things mean a lot to people, and so they will offer you like maybe a free drink or something to give them a good review, and that kind of dilutes the reviews a bit. Some people don't do it. We haven't done it for anything.
Mhm,
If we've done a review, it's because we really liked the place. Like we
mhm.
love our massage place. So yeah, it's just be careful when reading reviews, and sometimes they're translated, but sometimes you can still tell that they are like the friends and family rating the restaurant or something.
Yeah, and I don't blame them because it's a hustle culture.
Mhm.
A lot of them are just trying to make it. There's no Social Security over there, so you gotta work into your elder years. So everyone tries to make money, and they're happy if they get to make enough money for the day to feed their families for the end of the day. So if they want a 5-star Google review, like as long as it's good, we'll give it to them.
Mhm.
But we're not doing it in exchange for anything because we don't want to tarnish our brand because we're trying to feed families too.
Yeah. Yeah, that's so, like, if you just watched the video about, the street fruit that they bring to your table, we had mixed feelings about some of those things. So they bring the fruit, we love that, and it's fresh cut up fruit. Um, and you can still wash it because some people worry, how was it prepared? But we've never gotten sick off of it, and I've eaten it several times. But they'll also bring things to sell like gum, the cell phone covers, like the screen protectors. They try to
Mhm.
sell those
Mhm.
at tables. They try to sell
Cell
candies and
phone
things.
cell phone repair.
Yeah, yeah, but we were told that, like, the screen ones, we've heard can be a bit scammy, because they'll I don't know, different people make different comments about things, but some people said that they've taken your phone to put the screen on it, and then they won't give it back unless you give them some money, like, more money than you agreed to. We've never had a problem in Vietnam with someone changing the price. So I don't know if it's just our experience and we've just been lucky, but they will charge you a high price for something if you don't know any better and you don't negotiate. But if you agree on a price, we've never had anyone try to scam us
Mm-mm.
afterward. They've always been very true to their word,
Mhm.
and they've always followed through with whatever they said. Even, like, if you negotiate with a driver,
Mhm.
they don't change the price. In Thailand, we had that problem. We took a tuk-tuk, and partway through, he was like, "This is a really long ride," and we're like, "We know, but we had agreed to the price with you before because we were just gonna take a was it a Grab
Yeah, I think
in
we were just take a
Bangkok?"
Grab, yeah.
Yeah, and he said, "Oh, no, I'll give you a better price than that," and then he was like, "This is really far, so we should change it," and, we were like, "No." So, anyway, we have not had that in Vietnam. If once they agree to something, they are true to that.
And, like, they'll be quick to tell you no. Like, if you offer too low of a
True.
price, they'll wave you off and just,
Very true.
the negotiations happen a little bit.
Mhm.
You could probably negotiate them down just a little bit.
Yeah, one thing we've noticed at the markets is
Mhm.
that, like, the Bok Mian market is the cheapest for fruits, vegetables, meats, that kind of thing. Um, but they are used to supplying the restaurants in the Mian area and the vendors and carts and people. So if you're trying to buy a small amount, they may not even negotiate with you just because you're not buying enough of it.
Mhm.
So you can either buy a larger amount or um, try one of the people going around selling things on
Mhm.
their scooters or their bikes or things because the market people, the Bachmian market people are used to bigger supply orders. They're still very
Mhm.
nice if you want to buy small amounts. I actually had a very sweet exchange with a lady. I wanted these 3 little red peppers, and I didn't realize, but the price she wanted to charge me was 1,000 dong, and that's like 4 cents US
Mhm.
dollars, and we just didn't have change, so I showed her a bigger bill, and she was like, "Never mind." She was like, "Just take them." So instead of charging me or making me buy more, she was like, "You can just have them for free," which we didn't. We came back later and paid her for them. But that was very sweet. So they're just very thoughtful and they're used to dealing in bigger amounts. So just keep that kind of thing in mind. But we do love going to the markets for
Mhm.
fruits and different things. There are
Mhm.
3 main markets, the Bok Mian, the Chau, and then I can't remember the name of the 3rd one.
The Cho Khan. Cho means market.
Yeah.
So
So
Cho
Khan,
Khan.
Bok Mian, and then what's the 3rd one?
We love the
I
Suntra
forgot.
Night Market.
Oh, yeah, the Sintra. But there's the other one that we went to in the Hai Chow area. It's a market that no one really talks about that much.
Mhm. I can't remember the name of
Yeah,
it.
anyway.
So, yeah, if you're over there or if you're headed over there, the markets are a place to go. You really aren't going to, like she's saying, negotiate with them,
Mhm.
but they aren't, you know, astronomical prices for the stuff that you get. You get well more than what you need.
Yeah. So, let's see, the mold, the apartments, the hotels. Do you guys have any questions
The
about anything in Da Nang?
streets. You could talk about the streets, about crossing the streets. If you've seen a video on it on social media, it is real.
They're wild.
They
They're pretty,
are
packed, yeah.
crazy.
We've had people ask us for help crossing the street. Like we had a Japanese woman, I think she was holding a baby and she was on the phone with somebody, and she was having a hard time crossing the street. And finally, she asked us in English, "Can
Mhm.
I cross with you?" And we were like, "Absolutely." So it takes a little adjustment. But once you get used to it, you kind of learn how to do it.
Yeah, the people are nice. They know that you're crossing the street. They know the amount of traffic, so they'll slow down or they'll go around you. You just keep your pace
Hmm.
because if you start going and then you stop and they've already tried to go around you, now you're going to hit each other because you stopped.
Or you're both stared at each other, stopped in the middle.
Yeah,
You cause a traffic problem,
yeah.
but yeah. So, oh, she says, "Leave next week. Nervous. I will need your contact for agent to find a studio. So excited. Email his name. Thank you. Oh, good. So you got his name. So there are a couple different agents. Mr. Cow is who helped us find our apartment, and we highly recommend him. He's very nice, and he will definitely help you with what you're looking for. So some agents will just show you the units that they're trying to get rented because they get bonuses for certain units and things like that. But if you don't find one that you like with Mr. Cow, we also worked with another agent. She only shows, so different agents work for different groups. He works with, I think, the KISS group, but also there's the Hobbyland group. So we have a gal, I can't remember her name, but I can give you her info as well. And she works with the Hobbyland apartments and things. So I'll see if I can find her info and put that in there because the Hobbyland ones are very nice. The hotel, the Doha hotel that we stayed at, that we talk about, is a Hobbyland hotel. And so they're very classy places. They're a little bit more expensive, but our runner-up place was a Hobbyland.
Yeah.
I'll put this in while you go ahead.
So you'll see them as you're in the grabs going around the city. You'll see Hobbyland just on random buildings. So you can see how large of a footprint they have in Da Nang. And so when you get I want to say realtor, I mean an agent. When you get a real estate agent from Hobbyland, they all try to work in sync. So they will send another person to, they'll double book. And if they're with someone and you text them and go, hey, our appointment is now, they'll send someone else. And that's kind of weird because you already started talking to one person, kind of got all of your needs and wants out with them, and now they have to relay it to a second person.
Oh, I think you were catfished for that one.
Maybe.
Now. There's like a lady who turned out to be a guy, and the guy showed up every time we messaged the lady. So this is a lady that we actually worked with, and she showed us the green apartments, and I had spoken with her. She's the one who told us about the Doha hotel because it's a Hobbyland. So they are like tight knit, whatever group they represent. They'll recommend hotels with that group. They'll recommend apartments with that group. So you just need to know, like, if you are in the Facebook groups, there's a lot of Facebook groups for apartment hunting and, or if you want houses, hotels. And when you message in there, they will reply, but they'll show you the ones that they have. So if you see one, you go, oh, can you show me this one? They might say, oh, that's already rented. Somebody booked that today. And it's actually just not in their group. It's in it, and they can't show it to you. So some of them won't say, I can't show you that apartment. That's not one of mine. That's one reason we love Mr. Cow. He would say, that's not in my group. I can't show you that. And so the honesty we really appreciated. So you might want to we had 3 different agents because there are all those different little groups. So anyway, the one I just put in the chat is from Hobbyland, and she suggested the Doha hotel to us, which we didn't see any bugs. There was no mold. It didn't have a bad smell. It was really good with sound. So you could hear people if they were in the hallway, but at night, when people were in their rooms, you couldn't hear them. And that's another issue in Da Nang, is that the buildings are not all like, they don't have the same codes that we have in the Western culture. So sometimes the noises
travel.
Yeah, really well, but they didn't in Doha. So anyway, we recommend her as well. We would have rented the green apartment from her had we not found the one with Mr. Cow with the view. So
yeah, plus the Doha hotel is close to the airport.
Yeah, which is nice.
The people
and
were
ATMs.
Nice, and ATMs.
So you can get cash while you're staying there.
And there's a mall by the hotel if you want to walk about a half a mile.
Yeah, the Go Da Nang. We went there too. I'll put that in the chat. Go Da Nang. It's also like it's a mall, and then Go Da Nang inside is like a hypermarket. So it's what we would call like a supermarket.
2-story hypermarket. You got to leave all bags at the door, but they have all kinds of food. We love to get the Japanese rice over there.
Yeah, they have a food court that took us a while to figure out. We stood there for 20 minutes trying to figure out how that food court worked, but we got it. It was worth it.
Not many people there spoke English. And so this is random food court.
And it was packed. So we had to just observe.
We had to observe. And then ask for things, and then sometimes we got back stuff that we didn't want. We were, okay, fine, it's edible. And it was some of the best food that
Yeah.
we've had. I never thought that we would find such good food in the grocery store, but that's what it is, or hypermarket.
Yeah.
But that's what the name is. Like, I don't think there are many places that serve inadequate food.
No, all the food is delicious and amazing, but it's also where we got things for our apartment, like
Yeah.
plates and, if you need to buy things, it's kinda like a Walmart. It's
Mhm.
got lots of different kinds of things, and the prices are really, really good. I put the Vietnamese I tried English and I couldn't get it to work, but your Google or your web browser should translate it for you to English. But like, I couldn't get the app at Go Da Nang either on my phone. So anyway, there are a few issues, but overall it's really good. And like, they even have a movie theater there.
Mhm.
So you can walk around, and some of our favorite restaurants are right there near the Doha Hotel.
And the Cone Market is right across the street from the Golden Egg.
Yeah.
I mean, right across the street. So I think the Chau Con Market is bigger than the Golden Egg.
It's the biggest market. It's
Yeah.
the biggest outdoor market in Vietnam, although
The
it's mostly
busiest.
covered. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the largest though, and it has the most variety. They have a food court, although it's actually kind of small compared to the Bac Mian area, but
Mhm.
they have a lot of good stuff. So anyway, worth the trip. We're staying there. If you want to be next to the beach though, that a la carte is definitely better. That's on the water and it has amazing views.
I mean, amazing, absolutely stunning. Most people, when we first got to Vietnam, there were people in our family that was shocked that it wasn't just huts and, the Vietnam from the Vietnam War. They have built up so much. They are really trying to build an image of like a Singapore, to
Yeah.
where the buildings they go up pretty fast. They house thousands of people.
Hmm.
They're making really big investments in Da Nang. And so every day a new apartment becomes available. Mr. Cow showed us many apartments that were just finished.
Hmm.
A lot of the appliances were still wrapped up. The washing machine was still right. They hadn't taken the plastic
Yeah,
off yet.
brand new.
Mhm.
We would have been the first people there. However, they got them all up before Tet, before the new year. So I bet
Yeah.
people are in them now, but they'd still, still nice and new. We hear that right now the prices are a bit high. So if you are headed there, you said next week, very soon. If you have any questions, hopefully we've answered all of them, how to get the
Mhm.
cash, which apps to get. But if you want us to put anything again, we are happy to tell you all the apps that we use. If you're headed there next week, hopefully you already have downloaded the Grab app, because
Mhm.
that's how you're going to want to get from the airport to whatever hotel or apartment you've booked. And our suggestion for hotels, it's fine. You can definitely book in advance online. We did that with the Doha. It's good to get a recommendation though, because the hotels and everything, they'll put up pictures just and like anywhere does, just like Airbnb. And sometimes you arrive and they don't look as good. So some people have had poor experiences with Airbnbs in Vietnam and poor experiences with putting deposits down on apartments before arriving. So unless you already have met the people and you have seen the building, or you have a friend that saw it for you, wait until you are on site to put a deposit, because you don't get deposits back in Da Nang on apartments. So
You'll save a lot of money.
yeah, if you look at it, because we did go to a couple places that had mold and mildew smells, and you can't see that in a picture,
Mhm.
so it's definitely good to go yourself and check it out. And our apartment had mold, like, just to be totally upfront and honest,
Yeah.
when we moved in, there was mold in our bathroom, around the sink, around the shower, around the toilet. There was mold in our closet, like,
Mhm.
but we cleaned it all up, eradicated it, and it stayed away the whole time we were there. We never came back. Oh, it came back a little bit in the
Mhm.
bathroom, and I just reapplied the
Mhm.
stuff. But what I use is the stuff you put in your washing machine. So you can buy it on the Lazada app. The Lazada app is what we used to it's like it's like Amazon
It's
for
like
Vietnam.
Amazon,
Yeah,
yeah, a
yeah.
cheap Amazon.
So, but make sure that when you order on Lazada, you pick where you want it to ship from, that you pick Vietnam if you want it quickly, because otherwise it probably comes from China and it has to go through customs and it can take like 10 days. But if you scroll through the top, you can it just takes a long time if you like really need a
It
knife or
does.
something, like
It
you want it to
does.
come fast. But anything that you need that quickly, you can also go to Vincom Mall
Yeah.
or go to Nang for. So Vincom Mall is another mall. That's the one closer. If you're at the beach, the Vincom Mall is the one you're going to want to go to. I'll put the link for that one in here too.
The DIY store was
Yeah,
probably my favorite
it's called
store.
like Mr. DIY,
Mr.
right?
DIY. Yeah, you can go in there and it has all the stuff that you need to fix your apartment. So real quick, when you get the apartment, the reason you don't want to go and book a place before you get there is because the apartment, the landlords could be great, but the person who just moved out was nasty.
That's what happened to us. Yeah. And the
And
guy wasn't
so,
even there for like the last 2 weeks. He rented it or something.
yeah. So you might want to go to see what shape the apartment is in and if it's worth cleaning up or, if it's worth staying there, because there are a lot of things that have to come together for us
Hmm.
to stay in a great apartment. The apartment that we had, the view really shocked me. There was a view from the living room and the bedroom, but you also got a whole bunch of restaurants. There were 2 seafood restaurants on our block.
Hmm.
There turned out to be a pho place, about a 10-minute walk away that had $2 bowls of pho. It was absolutely delicious. Um, and so we just went around and realized that we could clean the apartment, and once we did that, it would be the perfect place to stay. So know that when you get over there, you may have to put a little elbow grease into what you're doing just so you can live in the place that you wanna be in. Because
With your standards. Yeah.
what's the use of having a great apartment if it's not in the area you wanna be in? You can't change the area you're in.
Hmm.
So, but you can change the apartment a lot.
Yeah, for sure. And then we do that with our space. So
Mhm.
yeah. So apartments and hotels. Let's do the hotels by the a la carte. There's another one down on the water. I mean, you can just Google it. So like, but I know that some people like the a la carte hotels. Some people said that they felt like the rooms were a little outdated. So it depends on if you want budget, lower pricing, or if you want like the Western modern experience. Chicland Hotel is definitely a fancy, fun hotel, but it can be like $120 a night.
Mhm.
Whereas a la carte, I think, is like $40 to $50 a night. Doha is $15 to $20 a
Mhm.
night. So it really depends on your price range.
And like people said, we met people who said that they're not always looking for the cheapest
Hmm.
hotels. Like they have the money, they've sold their homes, and they're permanent travelers, and they want an apartment that they can relax in and live in for the next couple of years until they move to France, the south of France or whatever. Like,
Yeah.
and we get that. It's just that we're telling you from our experience because we're budget travelers.
Hmm.
We're still in our 40s and we're trying to make things work.
Yeah, and that one-bedroom apartment with the mold, I think, is the reason we were able to get it at such a good price and make it fit for us. But if you want one that's never had any mold and is brand new, they've got those too at higher prices. There's some really cool buildings, the Monarchy apartment building and the what was the Japanese one that you really
I
liked?
always kept mispronouncing it.
Oh, what is it? What do you think it is? And then we'll see if it jogs my memory.
Nagata? No.
There was another very cool apartment building next to the
Sorry.
Monarchy. We can't remember the name of
Sorry.
it. Maybe I can look it up, but it's in one of our videos, our apartment tour videos.
Yeah, it's a Japanese apartment building. Clean, wide hallways, uh
Very modern,
very
huge
modern.
appliances.
Certain apartments had balconies on the outside that extended off of the building. So you could look, one guy was had a golf net out there. You could tell he was hitting golf balls every day um into the net, not off the building, which would be funny. But
I'll put the links for these in the comments because there's this one is for the Monarchy, and then I'll do the other one for the one we're talking about also.
So they have high class. We met a guy on the elevator that had a Vietnamese wife, and they bought a condo. I think they said for like 80,000 at
Mm.
the top of that building. And 80,000 is very cheap to buy a condo these days. I don't know if you,
80,000 USD.
yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know if you live in America or not, but um, yeah. And once you buy it, you know, pay taxes on it. You can change your visa. I mean, he's married to a Vietnamese woman, so
Yeah, and they rent them out, one of them out,
yeah.
right? Not the penthouse. They live in the penthouse, but they rent out the other one.
Mhm. So some people have different tastes. Just go over there and take your time and really, really think about where you want to stay because some places are isolated. Like some places are a more expensive grab ride from the
Hiyori.
hotel. Hiyori. I kept on Hidori.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Hiyori. The Hiyori building is the one you
You
like.
looked up our
I looked at the
Elaine's looking
video.
up our video.
I'll put the
Hiyori.
link. Yeah. So that's
Uh
like what we would call a luxury apartment because it's well, how much were they? They were
20 million. 20
19
million.
million to 22 million depending
Mhm.
on the floor and how many bedrooms and things. Um
Which 1 million is 38 bucks.
yeah.
So you're
So
looking at almost
which
$700.
is almost double what we were paying. But again, then you have all the comforts of Western living. Like those came with ovens, normal sized Western refrigerators, very clean. They
Mhm.
had shower doors, which if you're from a Western country, that doesn't sound fancy, but in Vietnam, that's not very common. So although they're getting more common as people
Mhm.
are requesting them, but
It had, the washer machine
oh, they had
outside,
dryers. Some
they had
yeah.
dryers, they had places, hallways between the apartments that you can hang up your clothes, and that's where the washing machine went, which was a little
Yes.
odd, but it made sense if you're building it.
Yeah, it had like a laundry area,
Yeah.
which, like we said, our apartment, we had to hang the laundry in the bathroom, and that's how it was intended. So it's really depends on what you're looking for, what your budget is, how long you want to stay, and what kind of comfort level you're looking for. So,
And they clean the apartments.
mhm,
Um,
that just comes standard, yeah.
that comes standard, so they come in once a week, and they clean the apartments,
Which means also changing and washing all your bedding. So
washing
it's
your
yeah.
dishes.
So even apartments have like a hotel functionality to them. Our apartment didn't come with towels, but some people's do. So that's why we went to Go Da Nang to buy towels. But yeah, they definitely still come in and clean all of your like they do the floors and they
Mhm.
don't really do like inside your cupboards or your refrigerator or if you like things really clean, you still have to do some cleaning. Although you can also hire a cleaner for a very inexpensive amount. We didn't do
Not
that, but
very much. And, yeah, they come through and we know people who leave them tips because of certain holidays, certain American holidays, they were leaving tips for Christmas. You know, you show them that you appreciate them and they keep coming back. Like
mhm,
that's what Vietnam is, right? Like you go out to a restaurant and they show you that they appreciate you because they want you to come back and spend all your hard-earned dong
mhm.
in their place, and they'll be friendly with you. We made so many different friends. We didn't make a single enemy, meaning that we didn't go over there and have bad words. We didn't have to argue with anyone. We never left a restaurant feeling like we got cheated, small
No.
portions or nasty food. Like,
No, everyone was great.
yeah.
Everyone's really nice. Everyone's they want to please you. They try really hard. They're very helpful. Um there are a couple things like it's good to have Google Translate on your phone and download Vietnamese um just so that you can use it to communicate with drivers if you need to or at restaurants or different things, especially if you have like a food allergy, if you need to ask if there's something like those conversations can be a bit more
Mhm,
difficult.
mhm.
So we don't have that. We can eat anything if you watch our food vlogs, you know, we try everything.
And we do.
Yeah, but if you do have those types of things, you'll want to bring a translator because it does help in communicating like that. But otherwise, yeah, no, people are super nice, super friendly. The only crime we saw was committed by foreigners. So the locals, I mean, they'll turn in wallets they find, they'll turn in cash. They're very, very honest in those ways. So it's really
Yeah.
nice. We miss
Yeah.
it. We miss it a lot.
Yeah. Yeah. As you can tell. Now, let's talk about the season that is probably going on now,
Okay. So
which
it's still
is
rainy, right? The weather,
still a little rainy. It's finishing up though. No more typhoons probably for the rest of the year.
hopefully, with what's going on.
And it's about to get hot. It's about to get real hot.
Yeah, it's already in the 80s. Let me check the weather here. Da Nang. So, oh, right now it's in the 70s, high 70s. Oh, but if you look at the weather, it's rain all day. I mean, every day has rain on it. One thing to know is that just because it says it's going to rain does not mean that it rains all day long. So it can rain for like 30 minutes or an hour, and then the rest of the day is fine. It'll even be sunny and then rain and go back and forth like that.
Yeah.
So yeah,
And
it says it's today's rain, but if you look at the weather, like there's even some clouds and sun. So just know that it's not miserable all the time just because you see rain.
yeah.
It's not like Seattle.
No. No.
But it is going to get warm. It's right now it's actually I think a nice time because it's high 70s to low 80s. In like June, July, it gets really, really warm. It gets in the 90s and the humidity is so high. The humidity is really, I think, what kills you because it's super hot. But we were talking to some people that have some mobility issues here in the Seattle area that want to go, and they were worried about getting around and walking and things. You can choose to walk if you want. We walked a lot. And people walk along the beach. There's a boardwalk you can walk along. But if you're worried about the heat and things, you can take a Grab anywhere, even if it's short. They're happy to give you a ride. And you can get anywhere in Da Nang from anywhere else in Da Nang for about $1.50, $2 with a big tip, so it's still really inexpensive. And you can go air conditioned to air conditioned if that's what you
Yeah.
want to do, and
Yeah.
make sure that the hotel or apartment that you have has a pool so that you can relax and cool off that way. That was really big for us. It was so hot when we first got to Da Nang last July. We didn't even go to the pool till after the sun set. So we were not in the pool till like 7 or 8 p.m. And it was like bath water. It was so warm. It was really nice. And like it lights up in Da Nang. So because it's so hot during the day in the summertime, the nightlife is a big thing. So some people don't wake up till 1, 2, 3 p.m. because they work all night, and the restaurants and everything stay open 2, 3 a.m. And there's just a really big nightlife, not necessarily people partying, just people going out to dinner at 9 p.m. because it's cool. So people will get up early, 4 or 5 a.m., go walking, go down to the beach early in the morning. They bury themselves in the sand. It's kind of a ritual thing that they do because they say the mites eat your dead skin off. So you'll see a bunch of adults burying themselves up to their neck on the beach in the mornings. And then in the afternoon, people take naps. So if you go to the Bakmyan market or the Chau, the Cone market, between like what, 12 and 3 or something. Yeah, 11 and 3, somewhere in there. They're taking naps. And you can still, that's definitely a slow time of the market. So if you're not ready for the hustle and bustle of those markets, that can be a relaxing time to go and initiate yourself into the market lifestyle, because there's still vendors helping each other out and things, and you can still purchase things and get things, but it's not crazy like it is at 7, 8, 9 a.m. or in the evening. But once you get used to it, those are fun times too. So
yeah, it was funny to us to see people napping right behind their stalls
or on their table.
Oh my word! Like,
yeah,
and no, they don't try to hide it at all.
No.
We've seen a lot of people sleeping throughout the Nang on hammocks.
Yeah.
A lot of the truck drivers waiting on their load to come, they would be sleeping
They'll
in the
sleep
back of their
under
trucks.
their trucks.
Yeah, a lot of the bus drivers, a lot of tourism bus drivers open up the luggage compartment at the bottom.
And they take naps in there. Yeah.
Go in there and take naps because probably they were up at 4 or 5 in the morning.
Yeah.
Going to the
go
beach.
pick everybody up.
They had coffee, and now
Yeah.
it's 2:00 in the afternoon. They've been up for 8 hours, and they're just exhausted.
So in that way, it's kind of like Spain, where there's kind of like a siesta time in the afternoon. But then again, when it starts to cool off in the evening, everybody's back at it again. So the
Everyone's
markets and
back at it.
things pick up again in the evening, and
The lights get bright.
yeah. So
Mhm.
in the afternoon, if you have a hotel or apartment, people just go hang out in the AC and relax. So
Mhm.
it's a pretty common thing to do.
That's when you do the bulk of your inside work.
Yeah.
And like our apartment was small, just a 1 bedroom, but we had 2 ACs because they know how hot it gets.
That's another thing. Make sure the ACs work where you're going to stay, because when you go to the apartments, you're supposed to check the water pressure, the hot water. So while we're on this, the hot water is not always piped to everything. We had some friends where their apartment didn't have hot water to the washing machine. So it was only cold wash that they could do. Ours had hot water to the washing machine. We had to turn on the hot water for our showers, which can be common. And then some people don't have hot water to like their bathroom sinks or their kitchen sinks, and or they have to turn it on and then wait and then remember to turn it off because it's expensive to heat the water. So just those are the kinds of questions you would want to make a list of when you're getting an apartment. We did that at the very beginning. We had a list of like must-haves, like shower doors and things like that. And then we had some things that we didn't care about so much. Like we wanted a washing machine, that was on our must-have, but there were some things that we didn't personally mind that other people wanted. We wanted a
Sure.
sofa.
Mhm.
That was a big thing to us, to be able to sit and relax on a sofa. But some people go out instead. So they, whatever it is that's important to you, just put it on the list and make sure that you have a list. Because when you're apartment hunting, you might see so many in a day. There were days we saw 8, 9 apartments. And what happened to one of our friends is they got confused about which apartment had what. And so they said, okay, we're happy with the apartment at this address. Let's go on this. Let's make a deposit for that apartment. And then later when they went to move in, they went, oh no, there's no shower wall. Like, do you remember? Like, and so they had confused 2 different apartments in their mind. So either take really good notes or take pictures or videos while you go and check it out. Hello. Oh, Thailand versus Vietnam. That's a great question. It depends on what part of Thailand you're talking about. Are you referring to like Bangkok, the bigger cities, or are you talking about Chiang Mai? Because the pricing is very different. So I think if we were comparing Bangkok to Da Nang, Bangkok is very expensive. Looking at doing scouting in May. Oh, awesome. We think we'll still be there at the end of May.
Don't know whatever it is. So yeah, if Thailand, the biggest difference between Thailand and Vietnam, I think, is the price.
Yeah, and that's why I asked which part, because
yeah.
Chiang Mai is more comparable to Da Nang, whereas Bangkok is
Out of control.
really expensive, super expensive. Like I had been to Bangkok, or no, not Bangkok, but I've been to Vietnam in 2011, and prices were 3 times what they were when I was there. Home base. So yeah, I think Vietnam is what we're calling home base.
We have a
for
storage
now.
there.
Yeah, we have a storage unit in Da Nang. So it's definitely, especially like we said, compared to Bangkok. We went to Bangkok for free for 8 days. We had enough hotel points and we were able to use one of our credit cards. We used our Venture X card. And so we used points that we had earned on that card. This is just the Venture, but we also have the Venture X. And that let us make that entire trip to renew our visas for totally free. We actually made money because they refunded us $63 because the flight prices went down and we had bought it with points. So we actually got $63 cash for our visa run for 8 days. But if we did not have hotel points, and if we had to pay, I wouldn't go to Bangkok again for that, unless you do a same day trip. The one thing you can do is called stacking visas. And before you go, you cannot be in the country when you apply for a visa, but you can apply for, we think, up to 3 visas and have them all 3 approved. This helps if you're going to get an apartment, say for like 9 months, you would know that you can come back the whole time and you won't get denied. You looked at the Philippines infrastructure and blackouts as well as no. Yeah, and they had a really rough year. The Philippines with the typhoons, oh my, they got hammered. So we actually made friends. One of our coffee groups, people had these two gentlemen had come over from the Philippines to get away from the blackouts and different issues they were having and some political things over there. But also the typhoons were just really causing a problem for them. And Da Nang did get hit with a couple of typhoons, but we didn't even lose power
No.
at all. So
Mm.
we were it was a good area to be in, at least this last year, for typhoons. Due to food infrastructure at pet. So Thailand is awesome, and Chiang Mai is cheaper. It depends, like, what's your monthly budget? So for Da Nang, we can live there, two people, for $1,000 a month, 1,200 if we really want to eat out a lot. But if you're going to Bangkok, I think you would need up to $3,000 because everything was more expensive.
Getting around,
Have we
the
been
travel.
to Jomtien? No.
Pattaya. I've heard of
Pattaya.
Pattaya in Thailand. Right there is
looking
a
it
beach
up.
city. I've also heard it's kind of rough in Pattaya. I know that Vietnam has a lot of expat communities, and they aren't hard to
It's a
find.
relaxed coastal town, but no,
Yeah.
we have not been there. That could be a really cool place to
Mhm.
put on the list. That's all we ever do, by the way. Check one place off our list and then add 3 more.
I mean, because everyone has a good time in little known places. So you go to a well-known place like Bangkok, and they'll tell you about a little known place like Pattaya or Chiang Mai. You know?
Yeah. And another thing that's common in Asia is to move during different times of the year, because Thailand also has what they call a burning season. And I don't know if this area that you're talking about would have that, because I see that it's a beach coastal area. But the smoke, when they burn the fields, it causes a lot of problems for a lot of people. If you have any asthma or health issues, breathing things, like, it's pretty bad. So people will go to Thailand maybe for 3 months and then leave for the burning season and go to Vietnam for 3 months. And then when the rainy season hits Vietnam, they'll go back to Thailand. So yeah, you can have a home base and then still kind of hop around a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because also Vietnam doesn't have a retirement visa.
Yeah, no.
They do have some longer visas, but yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
They have a business visa that you can use in Thailand, but you have to not in Thailand, in Vietnam, but you have to donate a lot of money. You have to give them a lot of money, or you got to start a business that makes over 50 USD, 50K USD a year. And then they'll give you a year-long visa that you got to re-up every year. So if you're coming there to make money, if you're coming there to have a business and pay your taxes, they don't care. Like, come on over and stay here for a long time.
We're not going to move anywhere permanently. By the way, hello. They're always commenting on our stuff. We consider ourselves still full-time travelers. So we're not going to make anywhere permanent, but we do like Da Nang a lot. We feel really safe. We felt safer in Da Nang than we feel in downtown Seattle. So
it's not even spooky, right? Like you look in an alley at midnight and walking down, and you're like, oh, this is kind of spooky.
But like, people might be sleeping with their door open. So it's a very different vibe than America. Like, yeah, you can go walking as a single woman out night, 3 a.m., 1 a.m., 5 a.m. There's always people out working, sweeping, doing something. So it feels really, really safe. It is really, really, the crime there is almost non-existent. Like I said, other than the tourists. Missed the first 50 minutes, but thanks for all that. Oh, awesome. Yeah. And maybe you can catch up on it if you want to watch it later. Trying to downsize hard. Do you have any tips for the long flight? Okay. So downsizing is tough. And what we found out is that we do it in segments, or like we did it. So like, first we got rid of a lot of stuff, and then we thought we needed to keep a lot of things. And then we came back, even this year, we came back because we store things in our garage. So our house, we have made into a short-term rental, and we come back to work on things and fix things up, paint, all the things you have to do. And we were going through things we'd been storing, and we're like, why are we keeping these old t-shirts? So as you live without things, I think you find it easier to live without more and more, and it's easier
Mhm.
to keep getting rid of things. So
You really realize
be
what you
gentle with
need
yourself. Yeah, because
and what you don't need.
you'll be able to cut more and more out every time you go through it. Like kind of dangerous in Virginia. A girl just got stabbed to death waiting on it. Yeah. See, that kind of stuff does not happen in Vietnam. The only crime was while we were there for 6 months, where anyone got injured was an American with a hammer that he like tried to rob a jewelry store, but we think he had some mental um they said he was not on his medication and things, and
Unfortunately, yeah.
yeah, so but yeah, it feels a lot safer than the US, and, it's easy to walk around at night, you feel very comfortable, people don't run up and steal your phones or your purses or anything like that at outdoor open restaurants, so
Yeah, no, they will jail you.
yeah.
Like, there is
You
something
don't wanna go to
about
a Vietnamese jail either.
no. There is something about the countries that are strict that, really don't give you a second chance.
Yeah.
Like, they really don't like giving second
That's the
chances.
same for a lot of Asia, though, like
Yeah,
Korea, I don't know
Japan.
about Malaysia. When we were in Johor Bahru, Singapore has cameras everywhere and is also very, very safe, but it's a lot more expensive.
Mhm.
So, it depends on what your budget is, but if you wanna go to a safe, very clean country, Singapore has got it all nailed down. I mean, they are super clean, super organized, the transit is great, the trains go everywhere. Vietnam does not have that kind of transportation infrastructure yet, but they are working on putting some more trains and things in, so we definitely need to learn from them. Thailand, if you overstay, really? If you
I
overstay your
guess.
visa?
I guess. They don't play around.
We're very careful with our visas.
Yeah.
Yeah, China doesn't. We actually haven't, stayed in China, but we had a flight,
Laid over.
a layover, and they escorted everyone from our flight with they had huge guns, like military style guns taking us through the airport, and they made us all pay for a visa even though we were just on a layover, and I think it was like $30 a person,
Mhm.
but it wasn't like our flight. It wasn't like our airline. Anyway, like someone from our airline was like, just pay it. We just need everybody to be able to get on the next flight. Like, anyway, so yeah, going through China can be, I don't know if it's still like that. That was 2016. Long flights. So we travel business if we have the points. We sign up for credit cards. So signed up for the United credit card, I think
Mhm.
through Chase.
Mhm.
And then you use your initial bonus points for the long flight. However, what we do right now is Space A with the military flights. So what that means is like the last flight we took back from Japan, it was only $44 per
Mhm.
person, but we were both in middle seats for what, 9 hours?
Mhm.
So our suggestions for long flights with really terrible seats are things like have an eye mask, have different layers of clothing because the planes can be really super hot or they can be really cold. So make sure that you can either put things on or take things off without having to get like up into your bag if you're in the middle seat bothering someone. We put
Mhm.
all that with us. We also bring noise canceling earbuds. What are they, like Bose
Mhm.
somebody?
Apple earbuds.
Yeah, and then just have lots of things, electronics, books in case those long flights, your electronics go out. It's nice to have a book along that you can read that doesn't need charging because they don't all have the charging cables for
Mhm.
you. Um, and of course, the best seat that that you can afford, the better. But we fly too much to always have business class. So
Yeah.
the other thing would be snacks and things. So some of these, especially Asian airlines, the snacks are cash only, which is very surprising. And that was for like going from Japan to Vietnam, Vietnam to Thailand. Those flights were all make sure that you have cash if you want to
Yeah.
buy water or any
Yeah.
kind of, and it doesn't matter what kind of cash. They would take dollars, they would take Thai baht, they would take Vietnamese dong, but you had to have paper money, and they don't take coins either. Um, oh, you're a veteran. Well, that's great. So no, you can answer that one. You're
No, I'm
retired.
not still active.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
he's retired. If you're retired military, there's two different things. One, if you retired and you still have an ID, you can fly on any Space
Mhm.
A flights, and we can get into that in a second. But if you're only partially retired but you qualify for VA and you don't have a military ID, you still qualify to fly
To Guam.
Guam, and it's like any US territories. There's Guam
Mhm.
and one other location that you can fly to, Space A. So you could at least get that far for $20.
Mhm.
And then from there you buy a ticket, which is what we do. We buy a ticket from wherever we end up in Asia. And then it's only like $200 instead of maybe $2,000 round trip.
If you look up Space A on Google,
Mhm.
you'll find the first website will take you, and each one of the Space A websites have the rules for Space A. And you can read over them and see if it applies to you. If it does, I would suggest you reserve, you put in a request for the flight about 45 days out. That will give you your seniority in whatever category you're in, so that you could be first in your category to get on the flight. I'm category 6. We are category
The
6.
last category. We're at the bottom.
So you don't want to be at the bottom of category 6 because that's the last person that's going to get on. You want to be at the top of category 6, and they view that based on when the request came in.
True. So you can only be like 60 days, but like we just put ours in, well, we put it in a couple weeks ago, but so that when we try to Space A in April, we'll be at the top of the list again. And if you are retired and you have a military ID, you can Space A fly out of any military base that has flights. If you can only do Guam, you're going to want to fly out of one of the airports. Like the SeaTac International Airport is a public airport. So you don't have to have a military ID to go there and then get on a flight to Space A. But if you had to go to like McCord Air Force Base, you'd have to have an ID. So you'd have to be retired for that one. Guam sounds good. I can go to Thailand from there. Also, do you know that Thailand has a VA clinic for veterans? Yeah. Thailand and Philippines. The Philippines is a great place if you need medical while you're overseas. So a lot of people go there as well. But yes, thank you for bringing that up. That's a good point.
You would have to check the website to see if they have flights from Dallas.
They have like 4 airports near there that you can Space A out of. So if you're on the East Coast, and you can Space A from there. Well, if you only qualify for Guam, that's a different situation. But I think it's any U.S. territories.
Okay.
But if you are retired, you can go from some of those areas to like Italy, Germany, the UK. There's a whole bunch of flights on the East Coast. Because we're here in Seattle, we haven't done those yet, but I'm hoping I can convince him around Christmas time to take some of those Space A flights over to Europe for Christmas markets.
What do you guys think? Europe Christmas markets?
Yeah, I would take every cheap flight that I could so I could have some. Yeah, it's super beneficial. So you don't even have to pay for some of the Space A flights. I mean, you do, but they might be like $2.67. They charge you just for like food or snacks. So that's what we pay for when we Space A for the long flights. We have to cover our own like pillows, blankets, and food items. That's what the $44 is for. So what do you think about Central and South America? We went to Central America. I've been to Mexico, and we went to Costa Rica. We have not been to South America. We do have friends in Vietnam that actually are renting out their house right now while they're staying in Da Nang, and they live in Panama. And Panama is also a pretty hot spot for people. They say the prices are really good there as well, just like they are, and that there's a lot of English. So Panama is the Central American equivalent, I think, of Vietnam, and it's a really, really popular right now.
Everyone had bars on the windows or a fence
in Costa
for their
Rica,
house, and there were a lot of security guards everywhere. So that tells me that crime might be a little higher in Costa Rica than we experienced. We didn't experience anything. We walked on the streets. We love to walk around the city, and we didn't have any problems.
It was also super hot in Costa Rica.
It was also super hot. They also have good food.
Yeah. Really good prices. We stayed in Airbnbs. One thing I will say about Costa Rica is the pictures matched the places. So we didn't have the issues that people have in Da Nang in Costa Rica, where if you see pictures of Airbnbs online in Costa Rica and then you get there, they look exactly like the picture. They might be a little bit smaller. You know how they take the wide angle picture, but otherwise they were the way they looked. Whereas in Vietnam, that's not always the case. So
The food in Vietnam is very inexpensive,
Yeah,
and it is very fresh.
so fresh. Vegetables and everything, even your soup.
We didn't gain as much weight in Vietnam as we did here in the States.
In like a month, I gained like 20 pounds coming back to America. And we ate lots. You guys have seen our food videos. We ate a ton of food in Vietnam, but it's such like it's real. Like you can look at the bowl that you're eating and you can figure out what it is. Like it's all identifiable. So there's not as much processed food, I guess, is what I'm saying, as there here is in America. Even the snacks, right? Fresh fruit. So um, you definitely get healthier meals, lower
Mhm.
calorie meals. Yeah, except for the coffees. The coffees in Vietnam are amazing and they are all like 300 calories. Not the one Steven gets. He gets like a black coffee, but all the cafe muis, the salt coffees, the egg coffees, the corn coffees, they're delicious, but they are a lot of calories. So just be careful with the calories. Could someone travel and get a hotel instead of an Airbnb? Oh yeah, definitely. And the hotels are definitely the way to go if you're going to stay somewhere sight
Mhm.
unseen. The hotels are because people rate them, right? So you can look at the ratings, you can read the reviews. You can do that for the Airbnbs also, but just keep in mind people can have their family stay in the Airbnb and have them rate it. Airbnb tries to be really careful about that, but of course, some people still get through. So, we do not go to the beach in the morning. I have a sand I don't know what it's called, aversion to sand. So we like to walk, and we walk along the beach, but we don't actually go down to the sand and the water. But a lot of people do, not when there are monsoons or typhoons. So the water table, when it rises in the city of Da Nang, it floods their sewer system, and that floods into the ocean. You can see, you'll know if that's happening. The water literally turns brown for a while. So if you're staying in one of those a la carte or Chicland hotel up rooftops, you can just see that it's brown for a while and then it's blue again. And you will want to avoid the water during those times. But that's only if there's really heavy rainfall. But again, like I said, you'll know it. But a lot of people do. People swim in the ocean in the morning. They have those round basket boats, and the lifeguards sit in the round basket boats out so that people swimming can be, have help if they need it. And it's a great thing to do. I don't like sand. So
Yeah.
Europe would love to welcome you. Oh, next time when you are in my birth town, I want you to come. Or what's your birth town? Where are you? Where are you in Europe? We loved everywhere we went. There was nowhere we
Everywhere.
didn't enjoy.
Mhm.
But
Europe is great.
when are
We
you
are
two going? Oh, yeah.
going back in about a month
Yeah.
in April. Mid-April, we're gonna go over there.
As soon as possible.
Just because we want to get back to the culture. The culture was very nice.
Mhm.
It took a little adjusting when we first got there because there's a lot of Google Translate.
Took him more adjusting.
There's a lot of Google Translate. There's a lot of
You can get culture shock.
miming. Yeah.
Yeah, you can get culture shock if you're, um, so there are a few things we do for culture shock. We, I love to treat you to dinner. Oh
Well,
yeah,
thank
that'd be
you.
great. Well, thanks. We can just meet up with you too. We don't mind. What is it called? Going Dutch? I don't know
Yeah.
if that's
Yeah.
politically correct. Anyway, we don't mind just meeting up, also hanging out, and you don't have to buy us anything, but we'd love to share information and share experiences.
Mhm.
But yeah, when you first arrive, you can definitely get culture shock having to adjust to a new language. So there's like 5 things we love to learn to say in any language when we travel, and that's like hello, thank you, I'm sorry, which is Xin Loy. We almost always do something accidentally that's culturally not appropriate, or you just like
Mhm.
at one of our grocery stores near where we stay in Centra, there are a lot of Russians, and they don't line up on the right side. They line up on the left side.
Of the cash register.
So I kept thinking, like, why are people keep cutting in line? And I'm standing like they don't even know I'm in line. They're like, why is that lady way over there? So there's just always things that you don't know about. And so anyway, it's nice to know how to say like, hello, thank you, goodbye, and sorry.
Mhm. Yeah, no. And they appreciate you trying to learn their language, their culture. They're
Hmm.
shocked when you know Vietnamese
Hmm.
because they know people come over there, and it's it's good to try to get as ac what do you call that? When you become, assimilated into their culture
Mhm.
instead of taking your culture over there and trying to have them meet you, right? Like,
Yeah. Oh, sorry, I was gonna are you
but
done? I was gonna answer these 2 questions. So they were asking, someone says they just retired a few years ago in the US, and it's kind of lonely. If you're not working, it seems like identity of Americans are work. Is it hard to meet people? No. So first of all, because we don't look Vietnamese, it's very obvious that, who's a foreigner, and
Mhm,
if someone, like, looks like they speak English, they maybe don't. They might speak Russian and very little English. Our neighbors, we could hear them practicing their English all the time.
mhm,
It was they were very nice, but they didn't have a lot of words. They had a cute
mhm,
little dog, so we would say hello and talk to them and the dog a little bit. But and we would practice our Japanese. But on the street, you can just say hello to people, and they might strike up a conversation.
mhm,
And you can ask, "What's your favorite cafe around here?" or something, and you can run into people at cafes
mhm,
and make friends. People will just start chatting. So it's not only at like pubs or bars where people reach out. People will reach out everywhere on the
mhm,
street, at cafes, at the beach. There are also a lot of digital nomads or like YouTubers, and they will be out recording something and then they might just interview you. So they might come up
mhm,
to you and say, "Hey, can I ask you guys why you're here, how long you're here for? Do
mhm.
you like it?" And you can say, "No, thank you. I don't want to be on camera," or just chat. But people, especially in the Antong Mian areas, make friends everywhere.
Super
They just
fast.
talk to you all on the street everywhere,
Well,
so
because they know that you're out of your country. They
and
know
they're out of
you're
their
out of
country,
place.
yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, certain people travel. Certain people, it takes a different mentality to get comfortable in someone else's country.
Mhm.
And I think that mentality is a more open person.
Yeah, because you've already have a shared experience that you're both foreigners,
Hmm.
so it's easy to be like, "Hey, hey, how you doing?"
Hmm.
and talk to each other. What are a couple of things you wish you had brought with you from the States? That's a really good question, Georgia guy. Let's see, go ahead.
There wasn't much that I couldn't find in Danae.
No, but, like, I felt like I had brought some things that I thought would be hard to find, and then not things that I thought I would be able so, like, Pepsidace chewables or Tums, they don't have those, and they have other things that you can take. They have the same type that, they have in the UK, like these little squeeze tubes,
Hmm.
so if you're used to those, but then there were, like, some medications and things I brought that I was worried, like vitamins, and, we were worried we wouldn't be able to find, like, powdered proteins. We bought, gallon bags of the protein with us for the gym and stuff, and they have that.
Hmm.
So, I would get the Lazada app on your phone now while you're in America and just look at what they have and search things that you want. And if they don't have what you want, bring that thing with you. And if they have it, then you know you can get it when you arrive in Vietnam. So I'll put that in the chat. I've closed mine. I'll type on here. Sorry, Lazada is the app. And once you get that, yeah, just search for something you're. How should I bring this with me? And if it's on the app, then no. And if it's not, then yes, bring that with you. But another thing is the chargers. So if you are worried about converters, or what are they called?
Converters, power converters.
For yeah,
Hmm.
Vietnam, the plugins all worked.
Hmm.
And Thailand, they worked.
Hmm.
Singapore,
Japan.
Japan,
Yeah.
yeah, everyone is kind of,
Hmm.
especially hotels, are putting in these. So, like, we stayed at the IHG in Thailand,
Hmm.
and they had the wall plug-in was anybody, it was its
Hmm.
own adapter, so you don't have to bring adapters with you anymore. Seems to be the consensus of everyone. But yeah, I couldn't find like Pepsidaces, chewables, and I couldn't find let's see, there were a couple other things that I'd wished we had. Oh, one thing, but you can get them there when you travel in some of these Eastern places, especially if you're staying in budget hotels like us, where they're $15 a night, they maybe don't have smoke detectors, and they definitely don't have those carbon,
Detectors.
yeah,
Hmm.
carbon dioxide,
CO2.
yeah.
Yeah.
So people are bringing the travel versions of those in their suitcases and things.
Mhm.
Just know that if you have one of those and you put it in the trunk, it will go off the entire ride from the airport because it's in the trunk. So anyway, if you want to know if it really works, put your baggage back there. But people are bringing those for their apartments and hotels just to make sure, because those don't always work. And then another thing for safety is alcohol. In Thailand, especially, they make a lot of their own alcohol to make it cheaper. So, unfortunately, a lot of tourists have died that way because they don't properly distill it. Not on purpose, they just don't really know how to do it. So anyway, if you are going to smaller bars and things, we didn't experience that in Vietnam at all. But anyway, you can drink bottled beer or any alcohol that you recognize the name of. But if it's a house alcohol or a house drink, you might want to stay away from those. And it's hard because those are the cheapest, but you just don't know that they're made correctly, and it's not worth the danger. So you don't want to spend your whole time if you're on a vacation or something in the hospital. So
yeah, I know that I brought toothbrushes over to Vietnam just to realize that they sold toothbrushes, like American toothbrushes.
At the hypermarket.
Yeah.
What was that called? So it's actually like, we think owned by Kirkland, by Costco, because they had Kirkland products. So yeah, we brought toothbrushes over, and then they had a ton of toothbrushes. Deodorant. I could not find aluminum-free deodorant for women. I could find it for men. So Stephen had it, no problem. It wasn't easy to find, but we found it for you several times, but I could not find it for women. So not even on Lazada. So if you are worried about aluminum in your deodorant, bring that with you. Bring aluminum-free deodorant with you. And Antwerp would be awesome. We went there for what, like a day or 2 days?
A weekend.
We were in Belgium for 48 hours. So it was a terrible idea. We did a house sit, a very nice house sit, but I was just excited because we'd never been there. And we flew in, stayed like 48 hours, and then had to fly back out. But we would love to come back.
Of Antwerp, actually. It's a small town just outside of Antwerp.
Yeah, constantly computers. We noticed in Europe, well, maybe it's just the UK, but people would like be friendly at pubs and things like, so yeah, bring your own moonshine. But people would be friendly at pubs and bars, and they'd be very social, but they weren't people do stay inside more. I think in all the colder places too, it's more common. But yeah, the housing is smaller in Vietnam, so people definitely get out, walk around, and the food is so cheap you can go out all the time. We had people come up. I mean, we have the YouTube, right? So, but people would say, "Hey, Stephen and Elaine, come sit down." And so we had meals oftentimes with people we'd never met, just because you recognize a face. But the same thing will happen even with someone that doesn't know us from YouTube, just because we are obviously foreigners and we have a common, so people say, "Hey, come sit down and chat with us," So still same thing going on in the US life. Yeah. Spending some time in the UK. Hey, there you go. Now you can get some good info on, they're in Belgium, I guess, but near the UK.
No,
never. No. And I ate everything. So I love street food. I love buying things on carts. I love finding something I've never seen before. And like, he'll say, "Oh, I'll go, oh, this is so good." He'll go, "Oh, what is it?" I'll go, "I don't know." Like, I don't know what it is. I just saw it and I bought it and it's delicious. But we did not get sick, not one single time in Vietnam. We got really, really sick in Morocco, however. I think it was my fault because Stephen did not eat any cart food, and I did. So I think I gave him my food poisoning. But you do have to be careful in some countries. The thing I would say about vegetables and lettuce in Vietnam is try to make sure that you put it in the soup, which is what they do most of the time anyway. So a lot of the soups you put in the bean sprout, like if you have pho, even in America, you put the bean sprouts and the cilantro and everything into the hot broth, even the meat, and it all cooks in there. So just keep in mind that some of the lettuces and things, because they do have the same thing they have in Japan, the rat lungworm or something. Anyway,
rat lungworm,
yeah, something like that. So vegetables should be cooked. It'd be better if you cooked your vegetables just to be safe, but we did never get sick. So that's one thing. British accent difficult. The British, we have not so hard of a time with. The Australian accent, it's
Woo!
difficult. So they're very nice. We like chatting with them. We have a lot of friends. One of our good friends, who is our neighbor, she's from Australia, and her accent is not that thick. But some people, it can be difficult, even if you all speak English together. So,
And we saw that a lot of people in the UK do watch American news and watch American TV shows. There was a house that we went to where the whole TV channel was based around the show Friends.
mm-hmm,
And they played Friends 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
true, yeah,
And so they understand that American accents aren't as sharp. And
yeah,
so
yeah,
they can tune it down in the UK.
true.
They
Yeah, like
can,
Scotland. If we
yeah,
were like, we don't understand, they could, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, we loved being at the Christmas markets too. That's what I'm hoping this year, is that Stephen will want to space a flight from the East Coast over to Europe and the UK and hit up some of those markets, because we want to try a lot of the, like, we didn't go to any French Christmas markets, so that's still on the list. Are there no fresh salad? There are fresh salads in Vietnam.
Yeah.
There are a lot of vegan friends and things who have eaten those. You just so I want to say this carefully, but okay. We have a restaurant that we love that's underneath our apartment complex area. It's at the
Mhm.
bottom, and we go there all the time. They are a wonderful family. It's delicious, very well seasoned, fantastic food. They prepare a lot of the things near or on the floor. So I would not get a salad there. On the way to the bathroom, you can see the kitchen situation at almost any restaurant in Vietnam, and I would suggest that you go to the bathroom just to check it out, to decide whether or not that's a place that you want to have raw vegetables and or salad at. So again, we eat at this restaurant all the time, but a lot of the stuff is prepared either in these low tubs
Mhm.
near the floor, or anyway. So I would only have cooked food at that place. There are more Western style restaurants, especially in the Mian
Mhm.
area and the Antong streets. There's a whole bunch of Western restaurants, and some of those follow the Western. They have Western cooks, and they
Mhm.
follow the Western style of cooking and preparing food.
Mhm.
And so at those restaurants, I would definitely have a fresh salad. I guess what we're saying is just be aware, sort of, at what level the restaurant you're at has for food cleanliness. Because if they're putting things in a soup and that's their custom and their stuff, like, they just live a little bit differently than we do. That's just part of
Mhm.
their culture. Um, so just know that, and then know that you'll see when you when you go to the restroom at those restaurants, you will know whether or not you want to eat the lettuce there. Right? It's, I think, all I will say. But
Well, and I would download the Michelin app. We have it. There are like one or two Michelin starred places in Da Nang,
true.
but they have a lot of Michelin selected places,
Hmm.
which are places that have been checked out by the Michelin people. They're very clean. They're very good places to go eat. And there, in those places, I would have a salad, no matter where it is in the country. But you could tell the difference in the quality of the food as it's brought out to you in certain Michelin starred, Michelin
Selected, yeah, and we eat
places.
the salad and lettuce
Uh,
there that goes into the fresh wraps. So, yeah, if it's Michelin selected, you might feel more comfortable, but you'll just know when you go if it's a
mhm.
yay or a nay. Use your best judgment. But again, we never got sick, and I ate all kinds of things on a cart. So just make sure that they heat them fresh for you. Like, for example, the shrimp cups, if you guys watched us with the golden shrimp cups,
Mhm.
they will make those hours in advance, and
Mhm.
it's shrimp. So they'll reheat it for you, but you can also ask for them to make it fresh. That's when you would need the Google Translate app, because we don't want to eat the shrimp that's been sitting
Hours
there for,
old
yeah,
shrimp.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Your mother lived in Pattaya, Thailand. Enjoy visiting. Yeah, the
Yeah.
humidity is a killer in the summertime. It gets really, really hot and humid. So having a pool, having shade, it's breezy. Da Nang has the beach, so it's breezy. If you can get in the
Mhm.
shade, it feels 10 to 20 degrees cooler.
Mhm.
Also, you can get a lot of iced coffees. Now, the water in Da Nang is safe to drink, especially if you're there on vacation. However, we bought like these huge 5-gallon size waters because they have high metals and things. But that happens even where we are here on Camino Island in Seattle area. There's a lot of arsenic in the water, so you have to filter the water here as well, even though it's clean. It just has too much arsenic if you're going to drink it every day. But the ice is safe to drink in Da Nang, and that's one thing a lot of people worry about. But even the small mom and pop coffee shops and things have the ice delivered, and it's filtered water. So if you're worried about having iced coffee in the heat and the humidity to cool yourself down, or they make a lot of fresh squeezed juices with ice, it's okay to have the ice. They get it delivered. They usually go on their motorbikes and they bring it back in like a cooler type thing, and it's in a bag, and it's been, but if you're ever worried, just skip the ice, but it is super hot and humid, and pools and the beach definitely help for that.
Also stay out of the sun between like noon and 3. Like if you have stuff to do inside, do that during that time. Get out early, go to the beach early, 7 a.m., 8 a.m. while the sun is just peaking and it's just starting to get a little hot. But at noon, between 11 and noon, get inside. That's when we do the majority of our editing. Like we like the window so we can see outside.
Be like a local, take a nap.
And then go back out after 3. Like the Sunshine Night Market didn't open up until it got dusk.
Like 6 o'clock or so. I think that's when it opens up. What kind of aircraft did you take? So yes, it was a commercial aircraft. So out of SeaTac here in Seattle, the military charters, what is it called? The rotator. So they also do it on the East Coast out of, is it the Dulles or Baltimore? So if you're leaving from the eastern side, you'd want to leave out of Baltimore. Western side, you'd want to leave out of Seattle. And they charter these, what are they, 767s? And you space A on those. So you're just on a regular craft. Now you can go to any of the military bases if you have a military ID, like we have McChord Air Force, JBLM, they call it, Joint Base McChord, Lewis McChord. And those can be C5s, C-17s. I actually love flying. C-17s are my favorite space A because you can get up and walk around. You could, lay down and make it like a bed. You can do you have so much more freedom than on a commercial plane. You can stretch and do all kinds of stuff. So those are my favorite, but they are freezing cold. So make sure that you pack extra clothes in your backpack or your carry-on to change into, because once they get to altitude, it gets really, really cold. It feels like you're flying inside of a martini shaker is what I like to say. So like to check out the lot. Up in the mountains, and also way up north in, I can't remember.
Hanoi?
Huh?
By Hanoi?
Yeah, north of Hanoi. The Sapa area. Sorry, I'm jiggling the whole. But the Sapa area is also cool, and they even get snow up there in the wintertime. So you can definitely cool yourself off by moving around. And some people do that. Some people just hop around throughout the year. Especially if you get a small studio, you could pay for the whole year. We had some friends pay for 9 months to get upfront to get 3 months free. So they paid for the whole year, and they can come and go and just leave things there like it's a home base. And they got 3 months for free. So that's another idea too, if you want to travel around but have Da Nang be your home base in Vietnam. Mexico. Nice.
Oh, how do you like Mexico?
Yeah, you have to be careful with the water, at least where I was in Cabo San Lucas. You couldn't drink the water there. So it's probably something people are familiar with. I'm going to request an F-16.
Go ahead. Bring a barf bag with you.
Uh-oh. Is that bumpy? What's the little one? I was on a medevac that was a small, like no. It was a little one. It had like literal jump seats made out of straps. And the restroom was a bucket with a wooden board around it. So some of those military space A flights are military grade flights. They're free, but they're military. The rotators are like 767s and things with functioning restrooms or flushable, all kinds, and food service and things like that. If you are flying space A on any of the military crafts, just know that there are no foods or snacks or drinks. Sometimes they'll have water for the crew and they'll share it with people. But anyway, just know to bring your own supplies.
Yep.
How does that 3 months work? Pay a year and get yeah, so when you negotiate we negotiated a 6-month contract. So if you wanted to look at how much did we save a month, it was like 3 million a month
Mhm.
over 6 months. And what is that in US dollars? Um,
So over there, they have a high interest rate for their savings accounts. It's like 5, 6%. And so they would love to deposit a crap load of money because that money can make money over the year rather than bringing it in spurts every month.
mhm.
So they will happily take your 9 months and give you the year because they can make a lot more money on that putting it in the savings.
Yeah, upfront. So
Mhm.
we basically saved we got a month and a half for free. We got 686 off of our rent for 6 months, and our rent was 425 a month. So as you make a larger contracts because the visas only last for 3 months, so a lot of people will do 3-month
Mhm.
rentals. And if you agree to a 6-month, a 9-month, a 12-month, you can get them to bring the prices down. So that's basically what it was. They said,
Mhm.
hey, we want this apartment for the whole year, but we don't want to pay this price. We want to pay, this amount. And they said, okay, if you pay it all now up front, one lump sum, then we will, do a
Mhm.
12-month contract for that amount. So it's really just a negotiation thing on your part. What you can work out with the landlord and when you go makes a difference for the price and for how much they'll negotiate. So like
Mhm.
had you gone in February, when it's the Lunar New Year. They call it Tet, I believe, in Vietnam, but every Asian country has a different name for it. If you went during that time, your monthly rent would be very high. So you would not even want to negotiate a 12-month contract during that time because they're going to use that same monthly price for the whole year.
Mhm.
Whereas if you stayed in a hotel for a month or something and then went to get the contract, or you got it a different time of year, like we did ours in July, where it's really hot and it's starting to become a lower season because the typhoons and things came early this year, then you can negotiate a better price. Um, October, I would say, is one of the best months.
Mhm.
October, November, December are really, really low rental price months and good months to negotiate your annual contracts because you're going to get the best amount. Period. I think
Mhm.
that you'll get the whole year. The weather here is almost 80 degrees. Oh, it's 60 at night. I like that. That's perfect. For me, that's very hot, but it's definitely cooler than Vietnam. So, how did you get the border runs? So, we did our own border runs. Yeah, we paid a down payment of 2 million for our apartment. So, 2 million cash.
Mhm.
You can see the video on that. I'll get the link because cash can be scary there. You mostly want to make payments with bank accounts so that you can go to the police if you need to, or anyone, and show that you made payments. But our agent, Mr. Cal, that we keep going on and on about, gave us pictures. He did a contract, and then he gave
Beautiful.
us pictures of both sides of his ID, and he
Mhm.
was like, "Here's all my information." And so we were able to make that work. But
Yeah, the if you have to do border runs, there are many options depending
mhm.
on how much you want to spend. When Elaine says we did our border run for free, it's because we used points to get over to Bangkok. And then we were over there for 6, 7 days, and it takes around 4 days for your visa to come back, 4 business days. Some people do the bus, which is the cheapest route, but it's 6 hours on the bus headed to Laos.
And it's about $150 per person. A lot of people use Lynn Visa, but there are some other good ones as well.
And you go into Laos, you have to pay to get into Laos, then you have to turn around and come back into Vietnam, and it's a 6 hour trip back on the bus. But they have companies that do it every day. They'll start out 6 a.m. and try to get you back before 8 p.m. There's the route you could take with, like she's saying, with people like Lend Visa that have the hookup that will give you a rushed visa, but you still have to leave the country. So we've had people pay a little bit extra for a rush visa and then pay for a ticket all the way to Bangkok and then don't leave the airport. They go to a lounge for about 3 hours and then they go to the gate and then book their flight back to Vietnam. Now, the flight to Bangkok is like hour and a half, maybe 2 hours. So
Mhm.
you spent 6 hours, you spend 2 hours on the plane, 3 hours in the airport, and then 2 hours on the plane. That's 7 hours.
And if you have some of those credit cards, you can be in a lounge for free the whole time, eating free food. They give you massages for free in some of those lounges.
Mhm,
So in the Bangkok airport, so it's really nice. And that's what we did was we chose to fly. And we had some friends do just that. They stacked their visas. So before you go or while you're out of the country, you can apply for all three visas. And then you do have to leave the country to renew them, but then you can do them same day and you don't have to pay a company like Lynn Visa $150 to do it, but they will do it. So there've been a couple of good questions here. Go in November, December. That's a great time to go for really good prices and then get yourself in a year-long contract. You will be really happy about that. The hotels in Da Nang look cheap, so it might be cheaper to live there. You can. If you have the money and you want to stay at like the Doha Hotel or somewhere that's like $15 to $20 a night, you can definitely stay in the hotel and then eat out
mhm,
at the local. If you go to the local mom and pop type restaurants, you can eat out every night for like $1.50.
mhm,
So depending on your budget, you could definitely do that and not worry about cooking and have a different meal every night and bring your leftovers back and put them in the fridge. The beach would be more like $35 to $50 a night because the
mhm,
prices fluctuate more at the beach depending on the holidays and different things like
mhm,
that. So if you had a bigger budget, and then the food by the beach is closer to like $3 to $5 a meal, sometimes
mhm,
even like 8 to 10, which compared to what you're paying now might be great for us. That's a lot because we lived in the cheaper areas of Da Nang. No, they will not take U.S. bank debit cards as payments. They will not take credit cards as payments. They will not. You can pay by putting the deposit in their account or you can pay by a QR code, which Moretta Pay is a great option for that. Or Wise is the app. I'll put these in the chat that we use to pay with a bank. Wise app, and then the third one is cash, but we don't
yeah.
recommend cash.
Yeah, if you get over there and you give cash, make sure you get enough documentation about that person so that you can turn them in if things go awry. We haven't seen many scammers because, like we said, they love word of mouth. And because Mr. Cow worked with us so well, that's why we decided to put him on our channel and give out his information. Um, but just be aware of how things go. As far as staying at hotels, you probably don't want to stay in a hotel because you'll miss out on a lot of the laundry that you get to do in your own apartment. You'll miss out
True.
on
They'll do it for you.
they'll do it for you. It
They
takes
pay per kilogram.
a couple of hours to get
Yeah.
it back.
We had a friend pay $30, but she stayed in for 2 kilograms, and she stayed in the, Sheikland Hotel, which is one of the most expensive ones. It's like $120, $150 a night.
Mhm. Yep, we've seen in Bangkok for a couple of days. Bangkok, I always wanted to go to Bangkok, and it is crazy in Bangkok. So many people getting around, so tiny streets. The buses take a while, the grabs take a while, but it had good food.
Yeah, we stayed in Bangkok for 8 days,
Mhm,
and we could still actually get old pricing at the food carts. So I
mhm,
found a couple really good food carts. You had to go down an alley but you could tell that's where the locals get their meals and things and snacks, and those were still good.
mhm.
They were like Da Nang, they were good prices. I could get, snacks for 50 cents, some chicken and things for what did you pay? A
Yeah.
dollar, for like a whole anyway, so there can be some good prices in and around Bangkok. Um, how do you stack your visas? You have to hit those dates exactly. No. So if there's two kinds of visas. There's one where you can leave and come back and leave and come back, or one where you can just stay the whole time.
Mhm,
We stayed the whole time, but you don't have to stay till the end of it. It just says that you can stay until that
mhm,
date. So if you decided, oh, I want to go for this festival or concert or something somewhere else, you can definitely leave earlier.
mhm,
But then whatever your next visa starts, that's when you can come back because that's the visa that you'll uh, initiate or start. But so if you apply, and I'll put the actual website here because we almost got scammed. It's not really scammed. We almost paid like way more than we should have for a visa. So I'll put the actual Vietnamese visa link in the chat here in a second. But when you leave and reapply, it can take what 5 to
4.
7 business days.
But
It took
that's what they
4 for us,
say,
yeah.
5 to 7 business days.
So you then would have to stay out of Vietnam until your visa gets approved, and if they're backed up, you know, and you're waiting in a hotel room and you don't have points like we do, then it can become expensive for you. So you can get them pre-approved, and that way you can leave and come back same day to activate it. So stacking visas means you get 3, you could just do 2 if you wanted, but pre-approved. So we signed a 6-month lease for our apartment, and had we known we could have stacked, we would have made sure that both visas, as Americans, we get 90 days of visa. Depending on where you're from, they can be longer or shorter. So just make sure what your country visas are, but ours is 90 days. So we could have just flown to Bangkok, hung out at the airport, and gone online and showed our visa at the airport. They would activate it, and then we could come right back same day. Because we didn't know about stacking visas, we gave ourselves 8 days because it said it could take 5 to 7 business days. It actually only took us 4 business days. But we applied at the airport before we even went to our hotel. We were like on the computer applying for our visa. But we knew 8 days should cover us. So that's why we recommend stacking it, especially if you're going to pay upfront for an apartment. You want to know they're going to let you back in. Now, that doesn't mean that they 100% will, but we don't know anyone that's been denied.
Yeah, just because you pay for it doesn't mean that you are going to get a visa, especially if you violated visa rules. If you left late, if you didn't leave. When you stack visas, in order for it to begin, you have to enter in through customs. So you have to get stamped. That visa has to go and get stamped you into the country. Also, if you have an apartment, they need to see your visa stamp every 3 months.
Yeah.
Which means that you can't just stack a visa and stay in Vietnam for 6 months. You have to leave and come back and then send your landlord that stamp.
Because they have to submit to the police.
Correct. If you don't, the police will show up at your door within a week and tell you you're not authorized to stay in the country.
We've heard some horror stories. Yeah, people getting woken up, the police. It would be stressful. And if you have the right documentation, it's not a big deal. But, you know, you just to avoid that stressful situation.
Yeah.
Is it easy to withdraw money from ATMs there? Yes, super easy. We don't get cash before. Well, we did last year, right? We thought we might need to, so we did it just in case. You don't need to. You just even at the airport, you can get cash out at the ATM. Just make sure whatever bank you use refunds your ATM fees. So we each get 2 refunded ATM fees on each of our cards, so we can have 4 withdrawals a month with no fees. But if your card charges international fees and ATM fees, then that can really add up. So just keep that in mind. But it is super easy. Some of the ATMs will give you 5 million cash. Some will say that they do, but we have found that 3 million is a good amount, and 3 million lasts us weeks, because we can also use cards if we want to go to certain hotels or
some of the newer, more
if we go to Go Da Nang, the malls use credit cards or QR codes. Some of the markets use QR codes and things, but we didn't have Merida Pay when we were there last time. We didn't hear about it till right before we left. The phone company Viatel is the company we used for our phones, and they only took cash.
That's it.
However, it's so cheap to get a phone plan for 8 gigabytes every single day for an entire month. The plan was
$250,
which is
$250,000.
Yeah.
Oh, which is what, $20?
I thought it's 5 million, $20. Sorry, we haven't been there in 2 months, and we're losing our conversion
rate.
You said it's 250?
Yeah, 1,000.
So $10, 10 US bucks. And so, yeah, we didn't need more than like 6 million a month cash. But it is easy to take it out. Yeah, there's a lot of different Thai food in Bangkok. There's also a lot of Thai food in Vietnam. So one cool thing about Vietnam is probably not cool, unfortunate, but makes delicious food, is that they were a French colony for a while. So there's French restaurants like legit French restaurants, also Italian restaurants. People from Italy, there's a restaurant called Limoncello, and the guy's Italian, and his food is amazing. But also a ton of people from Thailand and India. So you can get a lot of like what we would consider very authentic cuisines in Vietnam because they're cooked by people from those countries and they are true to their recipes and things like that. So yeah, but we do love the Thai food as well. Did you drop off the visa at the airport? No, you have to go. You have to leave the country. So you have to either take the bus and go over the border, or you have to take a train or a flight, or you somehow have to be outside of Vietnam. And as you come back in, even if you've stacked your visa, you'll pull it up on the website and show them, and then they'll stamp your passport to let you back in and start that new visa. What phone did you use for US?
Two-factor authorization. We can tell our banks that we're traveling. Our banks are used to us traveling.
Yeah.
So a lot of times they won't approve. I remember I paid for the gym with my card in Vietnam, and the bank texted me and said, "Hey, is this you trying to use this in Vietnam?"
Mm-hmm.
And so after you approve that, then it'll tell you, okay, well, have them run it again and we'll approve it this time.
So I use US Bank, and anytime my phone is near whatever's happening on my card, they automatically approve it. So you can set that up in your app, that your app will automatically link it. So this one never gets declined as long as I'm with it. If Steven takes it to go get money, there might be an issue, but it usually will have a pop-up that asks, is this you trying to do something? Chase Bank. We have a couple of cards for our short-term rental. They are the worst at declining things. They decline everything. Oh, that's the back of my card. They decline everything. So the IHG and the Inc., they decline all kinds of things. And then you can say in the apps that it's you, and then they'll reapprove, like approve the next one. But if you don't let them know that you're traveling, Chase is tough. They're tough on you. Capital One, I've not ever had a problem. They've always approved everything we've done. And the hardest card for us to use in Vietnam was Amex. Amex is not accepted very many places at all. Big hotels might take it. There was a hotel that took it on the second floor and not on the first floor. So that was kind of funny. But anyway, Amex is the hardest one to use, except for you can use it on the Grab app.
Mm-hmm.
And Lazada app and things like that. But the local merchants didn't really take those. So I would suggest the Capital Ones and then whatever your local bank is for your debit card.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I hope that answered the question.
So you said that you need to keep a US number.
We like to keep our US number. So we have Mint Mobile and we do an eSIM. So these are iPhones, and we can do our Mint Mobile can be active, and we can have one other active eSIM. When we first get to a country, even like Vietnam, we have Airlo.
Mm-hmm.
Airlo is who we use right away to make sure that we don't lose any connectivity. Airlo.
Or Rallo, or however you want to pronounce it.
Did I spell that correctly?
Yeah. And that's great for like the first 3 days of you getting there. That's great for when you're at the airport and you need a Grab, you just, turn on Airlo or Rallo and do what you got to do.
And then you have a couple of days for that to work while you go get Viatel turned on. And then we also used an eSIM with Viatel. We recommend Viatel. It's a big chain there. It's kind of like a T-Mobile or a Verizon. One thing that we will say is people will sell you the cards like it's got a little chip. Yeah. But we've heard some terrible stories. Sometimes they've already been used. A lot of different problems with activating them and things. So anyway, we don't suggest that you get those chips at the airport for Vietnam, for Da Nang. We would suggest that you get Airlo for just even a 3-day package to get you to Viatel. And you only have to do it. It's like $7. It's not very expensive.
And there are Viatels everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Google Maps, that's one that we haven't talked about, but Google Maps works pretty well over there. Just like here in the States, it might not get you there the fastest, but it gets you there the right way. And there are Viatel shops all over. So you don't have to take a Grab far. And the Grab will deliver you right to the Viatel shop. As long as you have cash, you can get a cell phone plan. Oh, bring your passport.
Yeah, bring your passport to get the phone. Bring your
passport the first time. After you re-up every time after that, every month, you don't have to worry about your passport, but they will not work with you without your passport the first time. And like she said, $10 a month gives you 8 GB a day. We used to pay $25 a month and get 20 gigabytes a day. That's how we did our live streams.
Mm-hmm.
And
While
it
we were
worked
there.
walking down the beach, walking through the streets. I don't think there was ever a disconnection of cellular data in Da Nang.
When we were like in grabs and different things, we were trying to do but no, it was just temporarily for the
Yeah.
video. It wasn't like if you're on the phone, it just couldn't handle the fact that we were live streaming. Someone asked about the gym fee. I put the link to the video where we break down our entire budget. I don't remember how much we paid a month for. It was like $10 for the whole month.
I remember,
$8?
yeah, it was the equivalent. It was $45 a person for 6 months, and we got 1 month free, or
Yeah.
7 months, and we got 1 month free.
Yeah, because we paid for.
Whereas our gym here, the YMCA, is $45 per person per month.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
but we paid up front for that as well, even though we weren't there for the 7th month free, because it was actually cheaper than paying for each month, all 6 months. So,
but the gym didn't have AC.
True. It was in Centra, and it was a local gym. So we didn't need a sauna because we got our sauna working out at the gym, and they had fans and things, and it was definitely nice and cool in December and January, and even kind of cool in November. But in July and stuff, it does get hot. There are some gyms with ACs; they charge more, but yeah, you can check them out. But we needed a gym. Even though we were walking a lot and things for weights and different.
Yeah. You like to go to the gym and get it all done in one place, especially if you know you're going back to the apartment and you're going to edit, or you're going out to do a vlog or something like that. You just want to get all your exercise in, which was great. For example, I was told I can't open a bank account from here in Mexico with Goldman Sachs.
Yeah, we couldn't open a bank account in Vietnam either without a $30,000 deposit and a couple of other things. Now, there's a way to get around that. When we go back, we're going to get with we have a friend that said he was able to get an account. He's from the UK, though. So sometimes as Americans, there are things we can't do, other people can do, like get driver's licenses. They don't trust us on the bikes over there, which might be for the best. They probably shouldn't trust me on a bike. He'd probably be fine. But anyway, there are different rules and regulations for different countries and things. So you may or may not be able to do, but we could not. So, but we didn't need one. We found out we didn't need one. So
the grabs and stuff were so inexpensive.
Yeah.
And like we said, we still walk places. So
how did you handle your mail? So we have a cheat. This is my parents' house, and they collect our mail for us. Most of our mail we're able to do paperless and get via email, with things being more modern and technology being better nowadays. But any physical mail that we have to get, we send to them. And what you can do, though, is we have some friends that have a mail service. So all of their mail goes to a company, and they send them a picture of the outside of the mail, and they say, is this junk? Do you want to keep this? Let us know. And then they either throw it out, or they'll say, like, keep it, or they'll say, open it so we can see what it says. And it lets you go through all these different options. And if you want them to hold it, they'll hold it till you get back, or they can forward it to Da Nang. I will say, we had people say that they wanted to send us Christmas cards while we were in Vietnam. And we said, well, there's no mailbox at our apartment. We don't know if we'll get mail. And we never saw them. So I don't know if they even made it to Vietnam or Da Nang or not, but we never did get that mail. So if you mail something, I would not send it via USPS to Vietnam. I would use DHL or one of the international carriers. I think someone was just telling us FedEx ships a lot of stuff to Da Nang. So I would not send it via mail. I would have any mail you wanted forwarded using DHL or FedEx or somebody with a tracking number.
And DHL is just great all around the world.
Yeah, true. Do you plan on having expat meetups when you're there? So we don't feel cool enough yet to like do our own meetup, but there are so many meetups, and we go to meetups for other things. We've gone to like Friday night meetups at Mi Casa. They have a meetup every other Friday night. They have game nights every week, I think, board game nights. There's a coffee that we've joined via Facebook and different things. So there's a bunch of, you can go to the app called actually Meetup. I'll put that in the chat, and you can meet people through there. People post their meetups, but also Facebook groups. People will post expat Da Nang. There's a women's only group you can join. There's a whole bunch of Facebook groups that are helpful, and you can meet people that way. But we do attend to them and make friends and meet new people. But we have not hosted any. But maybe at some point it'd be a good idea. I don't know.
Yeah, and we can post the ones that we're headed to if anyone wants to meet us. Everywhere we're going for a meetup group, we don't mind meeting people. We've met so many people from this channel.
Yeah.
We met our tallest subscriber. He's like
7
6'10",
feet tall.
7 foot.
He's
yeah.
7 feet tall. We didn't give the information in time, but like he was too tall for the Viet Jet Air, and we had told him at coffee, hey, listen, if you're gonna do a visa run, don't buy a ticket on Viet Jet. It's super cheap. But for like even Steven, he has a tough time getting his knees in the back of the seat. And they said, oh my gosh, we literally had to forfeit a flight because he was too tall and he couldn't fit in the seat. So just little things like that that are really helpful when we're all sitting around having coffee that come up that we maybe don't think about to bring up ourselves. But thank you for asking. And maybe we should try a meetup at some point. We definitely could do food meetups because we love the food, coffee. We've gone to a ton of good coffee shops, but also we love trying all the different foods. And if you're a little bit shy about different places, we could probably set some of those up. Those would be fun. You two are really good information. Thanks. We hope to meet you there too. So you're in Texas, going to get a mail forward. So that'd be good. Yeah. The mail is definitely good. $25 a month, special fees. Yeah. Very helpful. Definitely do that.
It's worth it because if
you have friends and family, do that. But if you don't, have the mail service.
Mail from YouTube come in that we've had to respond to that gives you a code so that you can have access to different things.
And I feel like family and friends get a little worn out by us. We've been traveling for 4 full years now. So I feel like at some point they're kind of like, really more mail? So we might get a mail service as well. So let us know if you like that company, if you do try them out, and if you feel good about them, because we're thinking we might start doing that just because we feel bad asking family to hold on to stuff for us for so long. The meet. Let's see. Have you met other YouTubers there? Yeah. Social Sammy. I don't know if we met them. We met the Real Army Guy or Army Guy Travels. His name's Jason. He's very cool. We met Will Travels. He's pretty popular for Da Nang. He's been in Da Nang a long time. His girlfriend or fiance, she's from
Fluffy.
Yeah, this is her nickname, from the Philippines. So they have good info about both Vietnam and Philippines, and other areas. They travel around a bit.
And they'll have meetups.
They do.
They had one at Bikini Bottom.
Yeah.
Which, funny story. Elaine is not a real big cartoon watcher.
Yeah.
So she thought all the waitresses would be in bikini bottoms.
Yeah. So in Seattle, it's like really cold a lot of the year and it rains, and people have these coffee shops where ladies wear bikinis. Is like a trend fun thing to serve you coffee. So I thought Bikini Bottoms was a restaurant where they did anyway. So I was like, I don't know if I really want to go to that type of place. And he was like, well, anyway, it's SpongeBob, guys. That's what it is. It has nothing to do with actual, like, it's just, anyway, it's an American style foodie place with hamburgers and French fries.
Patty and the crooked fries and everything like that. Yeah, they do all that.
See, I still don't know enough about the.
But yeah, Will Travels had a thing there, and he invited everyone. So we showed up and we shook hands, and you could pick his brain about YouTube. You could pick his brain about the city. You can talk to his girlfriend was walking around, and she'll tell you about the Philippines. She has to go back every so often to get with family and to do something with her visa. I'm not sure, but she'll tell you about the Philippines, the best places to go, the places to avoid the typhoons.
Yeah. You could go to Vietnam, save a ton of money, and then come back and put a large down payment on a car. You could definitely do that. We saved money over there. We came back here. We went out for like happy hour. We knew prices would be higher, and we just did not realize how much higher. So we had sticker shock for sure coming back, and we went out and we're like, a beer is the price of. So if you just watched our video about the food, we thought 225,000 dong is a lot for us for a meal in Vietnam. That's what we spend at like on Thanksgiving, having a formal Western style
Mhm.
meal. But it's like $8 or $9. But we don't normally eat like that. We normally eat at 50,000 or 70,000. We eat these smaller
Smaller
amounts.
meals. Yeah.
So the fact that we could barely get one beverage over here for the price of that entire set meal was
Mhm.
crazy. Anyway, but you can definitely save some money, and yeah. $20 for fast food. Just finished. So glad to catch you. Oh yeah. Hey, Juliet. We got to meet with her in Da Nang. One bedroom apartment, 1,800 a month. Yeah, no, that's a lot. The prices are very, very high. So it's funny, like some of the culture shock is making sure that when you go to the market, you get eggs, but you get them last always, or we did, because they come in a bag. So there's no egg protection, so you don't want to have the eggs walking around buying fruits and meats and different things, or put them in the backpack. So we would get eggs last, but eggs were like 20,000, 30,000. They were 30,000 when we left. It was winter and the price went up 10,000, but hopefully they're going back down again anyway. So that's less than $1. And we came back, and eggs in the Seattle area are like $10 for organic and brown eggs and things. So,
and they come by tens.
Oh yeah,
They
instead
don't
of
be
a dozen.
dozens.
Yeah.
They come by tens.
But little things like that. So, and the prices, yeah. I can get a home cooked meal here in Mexico for $5. Awesome. Yeah, we can get home cooked meals in Vietnam for $1, $1.50. I can get a fresh coconut with they'll take the white part out of it and the juice or the milk or whatever you want to call it, for 15,000 dong, which is like 60 cents. So coming back here, where coconuts in Hawaii were like $15 now. I was like, it's not even a hold. I can get two for $1 if I negotiate at the market. So yeah, the prices in America are insane. Gas. We did not buy gas in Vietnam. We never rented a scooter. We never rented a car. We used Grab the entire time. So Grab is like Uber. It's an app that works just like Uber. But what I will say is you don't wait for a Grab the way you wait for an Uber. So a Grab can come in 30 seconds, at most 2 minutes. We had kind of a cheat because our apartment was right next to this green area. And they would wait in line there to go anywhere nearby. So they literally just had to cross the street to come get us. So we were really, really fast pickups. But anywhere we were at any time, we never waited more than 2 minutes for a Grab. And you can get around the entire city of Da Nang from anywhere in Da Nang for about $1.50, $2 with a tip. And if you're going from the furthest points, I would say.
Yeah, and you and they get it's just like Uber. So they know where you're going. So you don't have to translate anything. You hop in the back. They might ask you your name. They might go, "Are you Steven?" And yep. And they go, and they take off. And they won't talk to you. They won't blast the music. Or sometimes they'll have American music playing.
Sometimes they will.
Which is funny. They'll have Justin Bieber or something like that, which is hilarious.
Yeah.
And you can get anywhere you want to for very inexpensive around the city of Da Nang.
Yeah, cars are super expensive here renting, and you just don't even need one over there because we would walk. I mean, Da Nang is like a big city. It has all the conveniences of a large city, and yet it's a small city at the same time. I don't want to say famous, but we felt popular over there because we would be walking to a restaurant for dinner and someone would go, "Stephen and Elaine, I watch your show." So it's like, it feels like we all know each other. It's a pretty tight-knit group. We would run into people we knew from our coffees and our other meetups. We saw a lady running that we had just met the night before at a meetup, or we had toured one lady's apartment and then ran into her the next day. So it's like a big city conveniences with a small town feel, and really good prices, especially if you're outside of the Mian and Tong area. Although if you're eating here in America, everything you guys are saying in the chat, you are going to be very happy with the prices in Da Nang, because even what we consider very expensive is much cheaper than that. Like ice cream I can get for 20 cents, I think, at the local place. So yeah, $12. And you can get things with a lot less calories over there. They make lower fat and lower sugar foods just in general. So it's cheaper and it's healthier. And yeah, we love it. We love it for sure. Yeah, friends that pay $100 a month are paying $350 for over 12 years. Where are they paying $100 a month? That's awesome. Is that in Mexico? Let's see. Yeah, Mexico's. Is that in Mexico? That would be amazing.
That is
We
great.
need to check out some more areas. We have to go back to Da Nang because we put a bunch of stuff in storage. So we paid for 6 months up front. I think we paid $12 a month for 2 big boxes and my step stool because I'm short. I know when we sit together, we look like the same height, but he's 6'5" and I'm 5'2". So for 3 items, it was $12 a month, and we paid upfront for all 6 months. She has you do that in case you don't come back, but we're going to go back, and then I think we'll get refunded for the amount we didn't use, and then and you can use Da Nang storage, or we used Hannah's co-working. I'll put that in the chat too. But she's really, really nice. She's very organized. We had sent her a picture of the 3 items we wanted to store so that we could get a quote from her. And then we dropped off 2 of the 3 items, and she texted us and said, "Oh, where's your stool?" And it was like, oh my gosh, we left it in the apartment. Anyway, so she's so organized. She kept us in line.
Yeah, it's like we were saying earlier, it is a hustle culture. So people use their homes to make a restaurant or to make a storage area or to make coffee or
Or for this,
whatever.
you can co-work at
Yeah.
her place or use it to store stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. So they really believe in reinvesting in themselves. They really believe in hard work gets you fed. And when you're in a society like that, you can trust it. I trusted it because I know I've been to Paris and I've been to London, and you know you really got to keep your head on the swivel. In Da Nang, we really didn't have that problem.
Mm-hmm. You guys have a lot of good. Yeah, you can live on Social Security in Da Nang. A lot of people do that as well. A lot of people do that from Australia and other places too. Do we know anything about Hospital 199? We sure do. If you go there, right across the street is the best Bonet restaurant in Da Nang, in our opinion. So grab yourself a Bonet if you find yourself over there for any reason. But we did not actually get medical care at Hospital 199. We got our flu shot at Family Medical, I believe it's called. And let's see, I'll put in the chat our medical video so you guys can see that. But we had our flu shot at the International Clinic in that hospital, and we had we went to Australian Dental Clinic. But there's another hospital that people highly recommend.
I forget the name of it.
They're all listed in this video. I'll go get you the link.
Yeah, it's a we went to both hospitals, and they're very clean and they're very organized. And
we went to all 3. We didn't go inside 199.
And they all have international clinics where the people in there speak English and they can get you to a doctor really fast. We went in to Family Medical without an appointment, just walked in, and we had our flu shots within the hour. And which is great.
Which only took that long because it was our very first appointment. We had to do all the new patient stuff.
We had to get height and weight, and we had to get our blood pressure taken and stuff like that. Which is, the system works over there. We had a friend break her arm, and she was able to take a Grab to the hospital.
Yeah.
And then get it treated, and all the treatments and all the reoccurring visits were only between like $350 or $400 total for everything she had to do for her broken arm, which was great.
We did not go to Kuala Lumpur this last time, so it might be a good one. We're not sure. But in Da Nang, there are 3 really, really good ones. The Family Medical was definitely a good one. There was no wait at Family Medical at all when we went. And then when we went to the other one, which I can't remember the name of right now, we there was nobody in the waiting room there either. So if you don't want to spend a lot of money, yeah, the lady that broke her arm, it was $350 for everything. That was even her checkups and everything. But if you have to spend the night, if you are local and you don't have a lot of money, you can sleep on a cot in the hallway. And that's just like $1 or $2. If you want to spend a little bit more, for I think it's like $10, $15, $20, you can stay in a shared room. It's a larger room, might have 15, 20 people in it. And then if you want a private room, I think it's like $35 to $50 a night. So there's so many options. And for us, we paid to move our medical over to TRICARE overseas, and it cost us like $45 per person to do that. And we wish we hadn't done it. We would not do that in the future because our copays were higher than any of the services that we had. So we ended up just paying cash for everything. Like our dental, the copay is like $28 to $38, and the service to have our teeth cleaned was $8. So we just paid the $8 and had our teeth cleaned. And then they told me I had 2 teeth that needed repairing because the way I brush my teeth. So I paid, I think, $8 a tooth to have those fixed. So it's so cheap that you don't even really need insurance. We do have a like a sponsorship or whatever with Safety Wing. And if you want insurance for traveling and different things for theft or loss for different countries, then we recommend Safety Wing. But in Vietnam, you really don't need it. I don't think, I mean, if you're worried about your laptop or something like that, you could get that kind of coverage. But for medical, we wouldn't even suggest that you pay for the Safety Wing medical because you can just pay out of pocket and it's cheaper.
Or if you have a chronic illness.
If you have something
Cancer
that you know you need.
like
Hopefully you're, but yeah, if you have something where you know you're going to be going a lot. But we even have friends that have had a ton of dental work done from the UK, and they just paid out of pocket, I think $6,000 in the UK, but instead it was only like $2,000 in Da Nang. And they're having a ton of things done. They've been going like weekly almost to have a bunch of different things fixed. So yeah, it's really, really good, really cheap. And it was so modern. So I feel a little bit, not like racist, but I feel, I don't know, bad for thinking. I thought that they would have older technology at the dental clinics and things, especially when they told us the x-ray was free. It was free with your initial visit. And so I thought, okay, it's going to, be put the thing at the old fashioned. Anyway, it was more modern than the one that we go to here in Seattle. They had a brand new machine thing and it was super fast. And so it was very impressive. It was culture shock for me a little bit how advanced their medical was. I guess I didn't realize how advanced they were. So anyway, just a heads up if you have to get any medical done.
Kuala Lumpur, a lot of the people that we met, the full-time travelers that we met in Vietnam, did go to Kuala Lumpur for medical care. Some of them really enjoyed it. The one comment I heard a lot was that it wasn't really walkable in Kuala Lumpur. You had to take a Grab everywhere you went because it was you from the hotel areas or from where expats normally stayed. There were a lot of highways, and you can't walk just on the side of the highway there. So it's not really walkable, but Kuala Lumpur does have one of the best hospitals in the world. I would agree to that.
Georgia guy is asking, do we feel like a rental when we get back to our house? So in a way, yes, although it's super cute. We don't stay there much because we have to pay the cleaning fee to stay, which is $250. And for just staying for one night, a hotel is actually cheaper for us. But if you were going to stay longer, then it's a good deal. But no, we really liked it. We spent 2 weeks there in January, and it was fun to be back in our house and settled in. And it didn't feel like a rental, but I guess because it's an Airbnb, so it has a more homey feel to it. But we left a lot of our stuff, like in the kitchen, for example. So during COVID, right, we all got like the air fryers and the KitchenAids to make homemade bread, and we had rice cookers and pressure cookers and slow cooker, just everything, because we were trying to find things to do. He got a huge Traeger. So we left all of those things for everybody to use. So it's not like a bare bones type rental. And you could do that with your house as well. Just label where everything is so that if your cleaners are coming and something is like the air fryer is gone, they will know. But otherwise, yeah, it's worked out really well, and it feels really good staying there. We enjoy it. So medical tourism, a lot of people do that.
From Australia and New Zealand, a lot of people do medical tourism to Vietnam.
They have doctors here and pharmacies you can get consult for less than. Yeah, we've got to come back over. I haven't been to Mexico since like 2005, I think. So it sounds like a great place.
Yeah, medications are cheaper.
Oh yeah, the pharmacies here too. Yeah, that's true. things are way cheaper at pharmacies all over the world than they are in the US. You could definitely go and pick them up. So one thing that we can say about Vietnam is that you can use your prescription from the US. You don't have to get a prescription there from a doctor for certain things, but some things you do. They'll let you know at the pharmacy. And the pharmacies will also let you know, they have some doctors sometimes that they'll refer you to get approval. But things that we need prescriptions for here, they don't require prescriptions for in Vietnam. So definitely bring pictures of your prescriptions if you want to get some medications while you're in Thailand, Vietnam, different places. Because even in Thailand, they require prescriptions for some things, but they didn't even make us show a prescription when we went to the one. Anyway, so just have them. Also, if you don't have them, you can get them. And then also you may not need them. So really you just go to a pharmacy. You're probably going to need to use a Google Translate. They speak English as far as like the medications and things. But if you're asking more questions, then you'll want to translate with them. But the Zalo app is amazing. It translates within the app. And now the WhatsApp even translates within the app. So that's really handy too. Uh-oh, I froze.
We froze. We're
back. All right. I'd love to travel and do, where do I leave all my clothes and stuff? So we leave ours at a storage in Mexico. Do you mean, or in Da Nang? Because I wonder if you could find the same type of place that we have.
Yeah. In Mexico, I'm sure there's somebody that has a storage area.
Yeah. Georgia guy says, do you know if you can get
ivermectin, OTC?
But I can ask because I have. So when you go into a pharmacy, if you ask for certain things, they'll give them to you. But also you can say, do you have WhatsApp or do you have Zalo so that we can connect? And then they will continue to chat with you. And if we did that a couple of times, oh, hey, do you have this? Do you have that? And they'll say, oh, no, but I can get it. Let me order. How much do you want? What amount? This and that. Here's the price. Do you want me to order it for you? So you can do it that way, but I'll just message and ask.
What is late over there now?
Oh, the time. That's a good point. Zalo just told me Happy Women's International Day.
Hey.
What time is it in?
Yeah.
5 a.m. They're waking up over there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do what you gotta do.
I won't message right now. Sorry. We'll ask later. But you can definitely ask. Or maybe I'll put I'll write it down so we can ask later.
Yeah. So a lot of these places, like TV and movies, has really given me a negative impression of a lot of foreign countries. And that's totally my fault. That's totally my ignorance. I should be able to be open to the areas because the hospitals, the doctors, the care, the nurses, the hallways are clean. Like, it really does make you if you didn't hear them speak in a different language, you would think you were in America.
True. I think I'm understanding the question now, by the way. Sorry, it took me a minute to get there. But you're saying, where do you leave your clothes and things when you travel for your short-term rental? Got it. Okay. So we have a part of our house that we can lock off, and that's our storage room and also our temperature controlled area. If you don't have that, and you have a garage, people don't seem to care if they can use our garage. We have a very big driveway and there's like, you could park 5 cars or more in there. So we also use our garage as our personal storage, and nobody has access to that but us, and you can leave your valuables and things there. But we do recommend a manager for a short-term rental. So it does cost us 30% of the revenue, but she takes care of everything so that we don't have to answer questions in the middle of the night. She contacts, if the internet goes out, she'll contact the internet company. If the fireplace needs servicing, she'll contact them, or the pest control if they have to come out and spray for ants. So she does take 30%, but we think it's worth it for our peace of mind. She only contacts us if there's a problem she can't handle. So how do you spell his name, the agent's name? Mr. Chau?
CAO.
Yeah. And do you have his info? Do you need his contact number? Because I can put that in.
Yeah, we've been giving away his contact number for a while now.
And you can tell him Stephen and Elaine sent you. We don't get anything from him. We don't get discounts. We don't.
It's not like a partnership.
No.
He's just a good guy.
Right.
And we like to reward people who are good people. So we like to hook people up with good people. He's an agent that we trust. And if you trust us, then you can trust him.
Yep. I'll put it in there.
I'm probably just going to leave it for other people to use. Yeah, you can leave your stuff. Just know what I've
People
learned.
take stuff.
What I've learned from having short-term rentals is people don't care about your stuff. If they want it, they will take it. But a lot of people expect, and this is probably negative of me, but a lot of people expect it to be clean and shiny and brand new when they get there. And they think that they can leave it however they want to leave it when they leave, which is weird because we've had people break things. And then if the next person comes in and stuff is broken, then it's our fault because it's broke. Anyway, so just know, don't leave anything in a short-term rental that you want for a lifetime. Know that things grow legs and walk away.
Yeah. Don't have anything in there that you really care about. We boxed up all that kind of stuff and put it away. And then I went to Home Goods and decorated with things because they'll literally sometimes even take like pictures or things, or sometimes they'll break things. We just had someone break. We've got these 3 mirrors on the wall, and one of the 3 has gotten broken twice. People keep maybe 3 times now.
Falling into it.
Yeah, they say they fall into it. But anyway, so just be aware if anything that's up, they might get broken.
Yeah.
And simply answered your question there about the medications. They said, yes, you can get it in Vietnam. It says you have to have a prescription, but you don't necessarily. And that's true at some of the pharmacies. Like some of them will say like that you need a prescription, but if you say you already have one and you tell them the amount that you take, they don't sometimes make you prove it. Like they'll say when we deliver it, you might have to show the driver, but we haven't, they don't always ask for it. So yeah. It's really easy to get medications there, and they're super cheap, like $3, $6,
Yeah.
$8, you know.
Your copay here is what it costs you to get the full medication over there.
Yeah. At cost. So yeah. You guys have any other questions? It's been a great chat today. We appreciate all the information, not just that we share with you, but that you share with us, the information about Thailand, about Mexico. Yes. Yeah, so it's all very helpful. We love having a place where we can help, but you know, we're just normal traveler people. We're not experts on anything. So having you guys share sorry, I was reading the comment at the same time.
Falling into mirrors, yeah.
I know. Well, it's a lower mirror, I guess. I think people are backing anyway. But having you guys share any expertise you have on where you've traveled or things that you know is really helpful too. So we might try to go back to the exact same building in Da Nang. That's what Stephen really wants to do. He loves that location. It's an awesome location, and we miss our little family downstairs that runs the restaurant and things. And there's also a Korean family that is really sweet that owns a restaurant. So we do like that area. I would love to stay somewhere because I think we'll only be there for 2 months this time. I'd love to stay in Ton Khe or Hai Chau, which is like the Vietnamese area. I don't know that I'll be able to convince somebody to do that with me, but it's only 2 months. So I'm like, we could stay anywhere for 2 months, right? I don't know.
The Sun Tra area we stayed in was a very Korean expat heavy area. Like even a lot of the stores were Korean and they catered to Koreans and had a lot of Korean writing. So we got to get food, authentic Korean food over there for very cheap. And
Korean pizza shop and everything. Yeah.
Yeah.
Isn't the Antong? No, it's Sun Tra.
Sun Cha.
South. It's like middle. So yeah.
It's close. It's close to the Antong district.
It's like a 45-minute walk.
Like a 10-minute grab.
Yeah. But no, we like to be a bit further out. The Antong area is really popular with expats. People love it. There's a lot of Western style food. If you're vegan, vegetarian, there's a lot of restaurants that cater to that there as well. Although it's easy, in my opinion, to make Vietnamese food vegan because you can order almost anything without meat or they don't have cheese on almost anything. So that's easy too. But Sun Tra is just slower.
Mhm.
It's a little bit more. It's a little less busy,
Mhm.
and also the prices are like the beers are I think a third,
Mhm.
almost a quarter of the price
The
that they are in
food.
Antong. The food, and it's just our vibe, our style. But it most of the expats definitely love the Antong area. So if you just watched our different districts. The Suntraw one is our favorite. We love our little massage place there. Lily is my favorite lady. If you go to Healing Hands Massage, shout out to Lily. I love. I was like, we should take Lily home with us. She can live with us, stay in our apartment. She's fantastic. But they're all really great. It's just that Suntraw is the best for us. That's really why our suggestion is if you're trying to figure out where you want to stay, to get a hotel in that area for at least one night and figure out if you like all hours of that area, because some areas have a lot of construction noise that bothers some people and not others.
Mhm.
Some areas have a lot of karaoke. We are in the Korean area. So there is some karaoke. Luckily, none of it is right next to our building, but you can check all of that out, especially if you stay in a hotel in your neighborhood. We have a hotel right next to our apartment building, so we could stay in that hotel if our the apartment that we want isn't ready yet. But yeah, check them out because everybody has different opinion. We know a lot of people that love the Mian area, and that's not our area. So
Mhm.
close to the beach and no Starbucks. No, there is no. There are Starbucks in Vietnam. There
Mhm.
are Starbucks in Da Nang. There's one in Sun Tra over by the Monarchy. So the Monarchy is next to the Miori, the Japanese building we were talking about, and there's actually two buildings, A and a B. They've which B I think is like two buildings. So anyway, there's like three Monarchy buildings, and there's a Starbucks right there. There's also a Starbucks by the Doha Hotel over in the Chau area. And there are McDonald's around. There's a McDonald's, I think, in Mian or Antong. I don't know if there's a Starbucks down there. What's the Starbucks equivalent? The Vietnamese?
Highland Coffee is
Yeah.
the Starbucks equivalent. And what I mean by equivalent is it's everywhere, and it has really great coffee.
Hmm.
But Vietnam is the second largest exporter of coffee in the world. So it has a lot of good coffee shops.
So many. I mean, I love coffee carts even in
Yeah.
Vietnam. So you don't need to go even to I mean, if you want the AC, but if you don't, if you're just walking down the street and it's cool, like right now it's in the 70s. So you could just get even on the beach, there's
Mhm.
coffee carts and things. So
Mhm.
yeah. So Da Nang, so all of Vietnam is a really long country. That's why it has three different climates because it's so long. It's got three different rainy seasons in it. But Da Nang is a beach town, beach city. So it is along the beach the whole way. And if you go up, I can't remember the furthest south, but then there's Mian in the Antong area,
Mhm.
the Miki Beach. I can't remember what the area right above that is, and then Sun Tra. And Sun Tra technically goes all the way up to the top of that little peninsula that jets out there in Da Nang, where the Lady Buddha is. So you can be next to the beach in Sun Tra for sure. We could see the ocean from our apartment,
Mhm.
and we were less than a half-mile walk. And we liked that because we were also half a mile. We were right between the big Vincom Mall and the beach. So for us, it was perfect. We could walk either way. But if you want to be on the beach, there are definitely some apartments and things in northern Central. There's some hotels. That's where like the Marriott, the IHG, all of those are up there on the northern east part of Central. So let's see, I'm gonna stay at the Doha. I follow what you did. Oh, well, thanks. I hope you love it. Say hi to Toy, Steven's
Toy,
friend Toy.
toy.
Electricity is very expensive in Da Nang. It's more expensive than it is here in the
Mhm.
States, but you don't use as much. So if you think about like the size of a house here with different bedrooms, heating it takes more energy because the rooms and things are so big. Everything is so compact in Vietnam that even though the electricity price is higher, our bill in December in Seattle was 367 or something,
Mhm.
367 US dollars. And I don't think that our bill ever went over $50 in
Mhm.
Vietnam. And that's with running two ACs parts of the day and running it sometimes
Cold.
24 hours a day.
Yeah.
Yeah. The key sometimes in Vietnam is not to run the AC, even though it's warm and you feel like you should turn the AC on, you should actually, we found for us, turn the dehumidifier on. And that actually cools the room down more because it takes the humidity out. And that humidity can make like a 10-15 degree difference. So and that's cheaper. It doesn't take as much energy as it does the AC. So run the dehumidifier a couple hours a day, and as well as running your AC. It makes a big difference. Yeah, but it is expensive. And make sure that you can see your meter, that you ask where your meter is. So our landlord was very honest, very open, but we've heard horror stories, of course. Some landlords take advantage and they charge sometimes for like their and the other person's electricity. So just make sure you ask where your meter is for your apartment, and take a picture at the beginning of the month and a picture when your rent is, when your bills are due, and make sure that they're charging you for the amount of energy that you used. Ours was in our stairwell, super easy for us to check on and verify, and they were accurate. So I don't enjoy sweating when trying to sleep. No, us either.
We turn it down to 19, 20 degrees Celsius.
Yeah.
Every night so that we could sleep properly with covers on. I don't mind paying electricity bill for comfort.
Yeah.
So as long as you're comfortable, then it's not hard to get comfortable in the country. Our apartment was on the 5th floor. So it wasn't too high. We could still see the water.
Good view.
But it wasn't too high. And so therefore it didn't get too hot.
Yeah.
But you can tell when you come back into your apartment after being outside all day, and when you enter your apartment, you can feel the heat, but the ACs work really fast, especially in tandem. And once you get to that level, you could just turn it up to 24, 25 and just kind of relax.
And if you have 2 in your apartment, like we did, one in our living room area and one in our bedroom area, you can put one on AC and one on dehumidify, and you might get cold. Like there were a couple times where we got cold and it was like, well, let's turn the AC, higher, because with the dehumidifier on, you don't need it to run as cold to feel colder. So I just wanted to go back to Harris, because you said you're going to stay at the Doha. And I just wanted to confirm, we had somebody say that they have a walking or mobility issue. And I don't know if that's you, but the Doha does have stairs to get up as soon as you get there. So to get into the lobby, there are 15 stairs right at the entrance. So I don't know if it was you that said that they had a mobility issue, but if you do, we do love the Doha. But if stairs are difficult for you, we just wanted to give you that heads up, because we don't want you to take a recommendation and then not be happy or comfortable. So just know that the Doha, to get in it, there's no elevator at the beginning, and it's about 15 stairs. Now, once you get into the lobby, of course, there's an elevator to go up to your rooms and things, but we can make another suggestion. We've had some friends suggest some hotels down on the beach. They're more expensive, $30 or so, maybe 40. But anyway, if you want that, let us know in the chat, because wherever that is, because we just don't want you to get there and then have an issue. So you separate unit than your it's the same thing. So most of the remotes were in English for the air conditioning units, and they had well, what was it called? Dry. It just said dry, and that's dehumidify. So do you want to? We want to visit everywhere. So we were being really, really tight last year. We had a couple of unforeseen expenses come up last year that really hit into our savings, costing us tens of thousands of dollars last year. So when we went to Vietnam for 6 months, we were on a super tight budget. We put the link in there, but we were living in Vietnam for $1,000 a month so that we could save, recoup, and restock our savings a bit. But we would love to travel. I want to do like the train up north. They have an overnight train. They have some very different things that are very cool. So both of those sound amazing. Bana Hills, Sapa Mountains, Dalat. There's a lot of cool places to go. We definitely want to check those out and make videos. And if our rental does better this year, it was rough last year. It was the worst year, I think, since we started traveling. There have been some political things happening in America that have really affected our short-term rental and our income, especially from people that were visiting from Europe and different places. So it was a tough year, but hopefully this year it'll do better.
Hopefully.
We have the FIFA Cup coming to Seattle, and hopefully we make more money and we can do a lot more of those types of traveling and show you in and around more of Vietnam in general, because we would love to show you my Chau Lodge. We went there in 2016, fell in love with it. It's over the rice paddies. We had a room that had a private pool. It's amazing. Anyway, so we'd love to show you all those places, but we'll get back to your questions. This is a Steven question. Georgia guy, do you use a VPN in Vietnam? Yes. And I don't know how that magic works, so I'll let you.
Nord. Use Nord. You can hook it up to anything and everything. A lot of other expats were also telling us to get Amazon Fire Stick unlocked or jailbroken or whatever you call it, because then you could get movies and TV and stuff over there. Most apartments come with a TV and a couch over there, so you can plug in your Fire Stick and have access to a whole bunch of TV shows and movies.
Yeah, people do that. Yeah.
The VPN, exactly. I use Nord. I pay for it for the year. It's seamless at times.
It's really helpful for Netflix and different things that you want to get things in English. Forget what I couldn't use Home Depot's website to order something while we were in Vietnam without the VPN. So there's really funky stuff that you wouldn't expect that you need the VPN for. So very helpful. Harris says, pools where I can go if my building doesn't have one. So the Doha does not have a pool. If you mean your apartment building, we had heard about public pools, and then we really didn't see any while we were there, did we? We didn't come across a single one. So I don't know. But again, you can access, I don't know if you were on when we said this earlier, like the a la carte lets people go into the pool if you pay just to go visit the pool and the rooftop bar. And if you buy on Wednesdays wings and beer, they let you into the pool for free. So there are things like that you can do, but there aren't like public swimming pools like we've seen in some other countries. And you're welcome. So glad. We hopefully run into you when we're in Da Nang. You're welcome, Tommy. If you have any questions, I don't think just the dehumidifier, the dry. Yeah, I like to vibe code and play chess. There's a lot of chess even on the streets at the parks and things like that. So you'll be able to find that. And Mahjong or whatever.
Mahjong.
And Go.
And Chinese chess, is it?
Go.
They have Go.
Go.
They'll go to the park. They'll go to the Riverwalk and just start playing Chinese chess. And I think it's Chinese chess.
Yeah, I don't know.
But if you like to do it on a computer, a simple VPN will work. They don't try to restrict the internet at all in Vietnam. It is a communist country, but they don't try to restrict the internet. They don't turn it off. They don't. And besides, your cell phone, like I said, you can get 8 gigs for a day for $10 a month, and so you could connect to your phone. If you don't have the internet's poor. Most of the apartments come with internet also.
Yeah.
And the hotels.
But the internet in our hotel was great. Doha was great. The internet at our apartment would go out sometimes, especially during typhoons and stuff, but our phones never did. So Go is really hard to learn. We tried and the
strategy of it is crazy.
It is good to have games. You can order them on Lazada and stuff too, or you can buy them at the stores, but to have some games to play, they have board game nights and things, but books or games that you can play something during the typhoons is helpful, because sometimes, the internet or the power will go out. So just have some things on hand. Every time we had a typhoon come this last year, I prepped and I got like food that wouldn't, we didn't have to refrigerate and that kind of stuff. And we never had our power go out. So
no, and every time they cut out the elevator for some reason, the landlord would text everyone in the building and saying, hey, because a typhoon is coming, the power might go out and we don't want anyone trapped in the elevator.
So we're going to turn the elevator off.
So they cut the elevator off. So people on the 9th floor had to walk up 9 flights of stairs.
But the power never even went out, so we're fine. Google Chromecast should work on TVs there. Should I stream TV channels all over the world? Yeah.
Yeah, if you can bring your own device with you and plug it in and put your VPN on there, put your Nord on your device, then no problem. The internet, the stream quality is great. Download is great. Upload, not so much.
It wasn't terrible though, because I could upload faster than I can here.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
But yeah, you can go over there and there's not any issue. Like I said, the Amazon Fire Stick, some people, it's gotten such a business now where they unlock it for a year.
Yeah.
You pay for a year and then the unlocks for a
$50
year.
or $100, I think. Yeah. So those kinds of things would be the things that you'd connect with the other expats at coffees or different things and do. But yeah.
Yeah, there's no shortage. If you're creative enough, there's no shortage of things that you can do in Vietnam. We lived just as comfortably in Vietnam. We used the Nord for Sirius XM radio, which is only in America, but we use Nord, and we could play that over there while we were cleaning up the room or while at the gym or something like that.
Yeah.
So there's no end to what you can do, and people are getting more and more creative every day. So
there were a lot. I mean, we felt just like we had all of our Western comforts. So yeah. But good questions, great stuff. Is there anything else? Any other questions? It's almost 2 p.m. over here. I could listen to my Boston talk radio. Yeah, you can listen to that kind of stuff. I will say, like, we had a speaker that we brought over, a Bose speaker. It's a small little speaker that helped us play out of our TV. So the TVs that come with your place, make sure you turn it on when you look at apartments. The TV in our apartment, and we probably could have asked him to switch it out, but we didn't. Someone had like left on, and so it had like a weird white streak through it sometimes, but you didn't see it all the time. But the sound quality wasn't very good. So Steven somehow hooked up the speaker to the TV, and we would just put the TV on the sofa right behind us, so we didn't have to play it very loud. Sorry, the speaker for the TV, connected to the TV right behind us so that we could hear the sound of the movies and things really well. But people are pretty, it depends on your building. Our building people were pretty conscientious about not playing things too loudly, especially after 10 p.m. Things get pretty quiet. So if you're watching TV or different things, just make sure you have it on low, or you could use headphones and things and watch. We watched a lot of shows on our laptop too. And even if we didn't watch it on the laptop, we put it on the TV via the laptop. So that's an option as well. The time difference, morning shows. Yeah. So football for us Americans, American football would be like 7, 8 a.m. Sometimes it was like 3, 4 a.m. for Steven's East Coast games. There are bars that you can go to and places that will stream events like that. They'll stream soccer events and
cricket.
Yeah, cricket for the Australians. And so, yeah, you can, there's definitely places you can go for those kinds of things as well. But the time difference can be
it's a real eye opener, because based on daylight saving, you are 12 or 13 hours ahead. So a lot of things that you have to do in the States, you either got to do late at night or overnight in the morning, which isn't a problem per se, based on the time zone that you use. I know for business that we have to handle on the West Coast of the United States, it's open a lot later for us, and so we can do things a lot later. But the East Coast, it's a problem. So Boston radio, you may have to get up early, or you may have to listen to it on a repeat, which is cool, because if you haven't heard it, then no problem.
It's new to you.
Our camera just went out. Now it came back. Look at that.
We're getting close to 3 hours, so YouTube might
shut us down.
Yeah, we'll see.
No, we love sharing what we've learned. We love sharing our experiences, and we love hearing about your guys' experience. Mexico sounds amazing.
Yeah. Panama too. And we love Thailand. I love Thailand. We didn't really get to see that much. We just went to Bangkok this last time, but still 1 million temples and things like that. Vietnam has temples and things. I will say one thing that Vietnam has a lot more of also is trash. There's a lot of trash around, but there are a lot of expats getting together to help do trash pickups and things. So you can volunteer for those things as well. Hey, Steve says, picking catch up. Thought you left Da Nang. I guess I mixed up my favorite. No. We did leave Da Nang. We are currently in Seattle, Washington, just talking about Da Nang, and we're going to be coming back to Da Nang hopefully mid-April. So we're trying to organize that, but we're just trying to share some of the information with people that are heading over there before we get back, so that it can be a lot to move to a new place, new country. And if you're going there, we just wanted to make sure we didn't drop the ball for you guys. For example, Harris, I think, is going to be there next week. So we want to be able to answer questions that come up. At least that's what happens for us. Like we we think we've got everything figured out, and then we're like, oh shoot, we didn't ask about this,
Mhm.
so we want to make ourselves available to answer any of those questions. So you're welcome.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining us. I think that's, if nobody else has any questions, that's it for us for today.
Yeah, we're gonna call it quits. Been on here almost 3 hours. It's fun sharing this time with you. Thank
Went
you
by
for the
fast.
community.
Yeah.
If you're new around here, I'm Steven.
And I'm Elaine.
Wishing you, as always, safe. I thought you were pretty. Ah.
Oh. Yeah.
Yeah. So we always wishing you safe.
No, that's me. I'm E. And enjoyable adventures. Sorry, guys. It's been a long couple hours. Thank you. Yes, please subscribe. We appreciate the likes and everything, all the comments. Check out our videos that I put in the chat if you have questions. And see you later. Bye.